I hope you're ready because we're about to embark on a 100 years journey from 1836 to 1936 as the Russian Tsardom, where we'll be forming the Soviet Union. We'll be getting 4 billion GDP in this run and basically owning most of the planet. And tell you what, if we get 6,900 likes on today's video, we're gonna do an Austria into Super Germany speed run, forming it insanely fast. And hey, if you enjoy the content, consider subscribing. Would really encourage me to make more videos like these in the future. Now, despite the Russians having at the very beginning 35 million GDP, 58 million population, a massive army, and surprisingly a pretty strong flotilla, they do lack certain things such as technology, and they have one of the worst legislation sets I've seen in the game out of any starting nation. I'm especially looking at serfdom, as well as land-based taxation, traditionalism, which with the 1.5 patch gives you minus 15% MAPI or market access price impact, which essentially means that we're going to really be struggling with our economy here until we get rid of traditionalism, especially, which is not going to be easy. Legislation is extremely hard to pass in Russia, unfortunately, and we do start with the gentry assembly as well as a lot of support for the armed forces and the Orthodox Church, and we are suppressing apparently the intelligentsia. Obviously, that's the first thing we're going to change here. We're going to be bolstering the intelligentsia. Actually, no, hold up. I'm not going to bolster the intelligentsia. I'm going to bolster the industrialists. Honest mistake. They both kind of have the same color, okay? Don't judge me right there. Anyway, we're bolstering the industrialists because we need to industrialize our country. Right now, the Russian Empire is essentially a backwards agricultural land-owning sort of society, which is not what we want to see. Quite the opposite. We're going to need to pass a lot of legislation to get this country back on track, but it's going to happen. Don't worry. Of course, the first one you can do is going to be a dedicated police force. It has 72% endorsement. Might as well do this. It's better than no police force, and dedicated police force also lowers the state penalty from turmoil as well as lowers the radicals from standard of living decrease. We are going to have a lot of standard of living decrease until we stabilize our economy, but I'm only doing this first because it is the only one available. However, we will be changing from the gentry assembly and we will be trying to get other interest groups in our government. I believe we can even get the armed forces, maybe the Orthodox Church in from the beginning. Yeah, we can. There you go. So yeah, we can do this, and we still have 99% righteous government. We also probably can do a few other legislations, but again, keeping with the police force first, and then we decide afterwards what else we're going to go for. Now, we're going to keep that aside for now. Let's check our authority. We are bolstering industrials, and we have consumption taxes on liquor. Now, we do not want consumption taxes on liquor. Why is that? Because our population is primarily lower strata. 55 million is lower strata, and one of the main things that the lower strata loves is liquor. Now, if we have taxes, consumption taxes on liquor, that is going to affect them massively, and it's going to lower the standard of living. We don't want that to be lowered. As such, we're going to remove the liquor tax. So you can tell that the liquor tax brings in a lot of money because it affects a lot of people, but it's not efficient. If anything, we're going to set up the services tax because services, end of the day, affects mostly the middle and upper strata, which we don't have that many of, and we're okay with taxing since they're already living the vida loca here with 29 prosperous and 17 middling for both of these groups. Of course, to go in tandem with that, we're going to assign luxury furniture consumption tax, luxury clothes consumption tax, and porcelain consumption tax. Why these? Because they primarily affect the upper and middle strata, and because we want to slowly increase our standard of living. We don't want to screw over the peasants as much as we are screwing them at the start of the campaign, right? Now, you probably realize as the Russians, we have a lot of unrealized taxes. That is a big problem. That is a very, very big problem. We're losing 67,000 in unrealized taxes. Basically, pretty much every single area doesn't have enough government administration buildings, and we're going to need to pump up the amount of government administration buildings everywhere, but that is not our first priority because right now we only have 4 construction sectors, and we need to get our basic industry running. Obviously, before we do that, let's finish off with our authority points since I started doing that, right? I am going to set up the encouraged resource industry in Perm. Why in Perm? Because Perm alongside Tver are 2 states that have a lot of coal mines, iron mines. Same goes for Moscow, a lot of iron mines, coal mines. So Moscow, Tver, and Perm with the capital of Ingria are going to be my main focuses of building up in the early part of the campaign. However, because we have really low MAPI, we need to kind of evenly distribute the initial buildings around our country, because if we just build everything in one little area, it's gonna be hard to get that all around the country, since now the difference is we have the local prices. So as you can tell here, there's a big difference between Trans-Baikal's 11.1 cost for grain and Alaska's 26.1 cost for grain. Even though it's the same country, the local prices are massively different because of the lower MAPI that we have. Once we have a higher MAPI, things are going to change. Things are going to even themselves out a little bit more in our country. But until we reach that point, we will unfortunately have to build up a little bit more wide around the country. And then as we're building wide, we have to start focusing in specific areas where it is going to be a lot more beneficial and we get a lot more out of those areas, like say Perm, like I was saying before, Moscow, Tver, and Ingria. But not only those. I also have 200 left authority points. I'm actually going to bolster the intelligentsia. So I'm bolstering eventually intelligentsia and industrialists. Now that is because they have a lot of legislation that they would be willing to pass that we need to pass in our country, which is in stark contrast to the gentry assembly, which is the landowners that have traditionalist as that is literally the worst thing that we can have. Now we could say get rid of this guy since he is a traditionalist, and maybe we can get somebody else that is not a traditionalist in government. Literally anybody else for that matter would be better than this. I will pay more attention to the whole government situation after we pass the first legislation. However, until that point, let's get our technology going here. Now we're going to go to society and we're going to go for the stock exchange because this increases our market access price impact, or MAPI, by 10%. Remember, MAPI is the thing that is essentially slowly killing us as a nation in the early part of the campaign. So we need to improve our MAPI. This stock exchange improves it by 10%. It is an absolutely vital technology to have as the Russians early on in the campaign. Then we're going to also go for the lathes, atmospheric engine, so we have a proper industry going off, agriculture, intense agriculture, and so on. A lot of the basic technologies here are required and we don't have, so we need to gun for these. We're also pretty far behind with our military stuff, but that is not a priority for me. Quite the opposite. I have other things on my mind right now. Just realized that with the most recent patch, they actually changed the location of the Navy and the Army. Actually, a lot of this has been swapped around, hasn't it? Yeah, it has. I just realized that. What? We're also going to set up our taxes to very high taxes because we need that early infusion of money to grow our economy, and also because it lowers the attraction of interest groups in government by 20%. So remember, our interest groups in government are the ones we don't really want to have in government. So lowering the attraction of these interest groups is actually beneficial for us. Once we get rid of these bad boys and we bring in the intelligentsia, industrialists, and so on in our government, of course, we're also going to slowly lower our taxation. The goal is to have very low taxes by the mid to late part of the campaign. So you progressively start lowering your taxes as you improve your economy. Now, that is it for the budget bit. Let's go ahead and set up our production methods. The Russians actually start with a lot of inefficient production methods from the beginning, so we're going to change that. We're going to go for sweeteners for the food industries, as well as pot stills, craftsman sewing for the textile mills. Now, this does mean that we're going to need to get some silk, and we don't have that much of, but we can always import silk, so we're going to do that before we unpause, of course. We want to get also dye workshops, but we need to get the lathe research before that happens. It's just generally a good idea to go around and switch on over whichever production method is outdated and make sure you have the right resources to back up those production methods. So if you say switch over here to rough iron tools in the tooling workshops, you need to make sure you have enough iron and wood available in the tooling workshops affected to have a high productivity coming out of those particular production methods. Also here, market squares and gas street lights are really good, but our production of coal is not as amazing as it is. We're going to exempt some of these for the time being, and we're going to change everything to gas street light once we have enough coal production going for us. Oh, actually we have, my bad, no coal production going right now, so we're going to change this back until we actually have some coal production going. We primarily are producing grain, a little bit of iron right now we're doing in Saratov, Ural, Samara, Perm, and Moscow. A lot of logging camps, and that is one of our premier feature, let's say. So if we go over to wood, we are probably we're the second greatest producer of wood after Qing, but we have a lot of potential for wood production, even higher than Qing if you ask me, because check it out, even the Siberian plains, we could potentially produce a ton of wood. Wood is basically going to be needed for the entirety of the campaign, and as you progress in the campaign, it is going to be the one good that is going to prevent a lot of nations from maximizing their profits. We're going to switch over to citrus orchards and apple orchards here too. We're not switching to harvest tools just yet because we don't actually have that many tools, so we need to get more tooling workshops built. Atmospheric engine pump is being researched, and that is good because picks and shovels is likely the worst production method imaginable for your industry. It is in fact not an industry. Picks and shovels means that we have shopkeepers in charge as owners of these particular mines, and shopkeepers only contribute 5% dividends to the investment pool, which equates to basically nothing. We want to switch on over to capitalist, so that means privately owned or publicly owned or publicly traded, better yet, ownership method, because capitalists give 20% of their income as dividends to the production, to the investment pool, which means you grow your economy a lot faster. To industrialize, we need to get atmospheric engine pumps, which has already been queued up as our technology. Once we have atmospheric engine pumps, we will have our ownership switch over to privately owned. Same goes for all of our other production methods. This is the main issue in our country, right? Right now we have privately owned plantations, which means that aristocrats are the ones that are owning this, and aristocrats only contribute 10% as dividends to the investment pool, whilst publicly traded is capitalist, which contribute 20% dividends to the investment pool. So your investment pool essentially is going to be very small for the starting part of the campaign as the Russians, but after we start industrializing the nation, is going to change significantly. One more thing we want to change is the fishing trawlers from simple fishing, because it's going to give a lot more fish and it's going to increase employment of machinists rather than laborers, whilst at the same time increase the need for clippers. But we will be importing clippers as long as we can, and we also will be building some more shipyards to make more clippers in the process. Now the first thing we're going to be building is of course the construction sectors. We only start with 4 of them, so it's not that many. Let's queue up say a good 10 of them over in Moscow and 10 of them over in our capital. Actually, that probably is a little bit more than I'm comfortable with at the start. Let's just say 8 in Moscow, and that's it. And then we start building more construction sectors afterwards, because we need to also queue up a few other things after the construction sectors. We want to queue up, of course, a little bit of everything, so we need to start some coal mines, obviously. Moscow might be the best one for that. Actually, no, Perm is the best one for that. Up to 80 potential coal mines in there. But because of our lower market access, I'm going to build my first 2 in Moscow, and we build more afterwards. I'm also going to get 1 lead mine in the Urals, because we have one production method that requires lead, and we don't have any right now. Silk, again, we need silk, and we have the ability to get silk in the Caucasus area, so we're going to build up, which one has the highest potential? 50. Okay, so we're going to build up 5 silk plantations in the greater Caucasus area, or state better yet, and of course tooling workshops. We have 7 of these starting off in Moscow. We're going to go up to 10 of these in Moscow at the start. Now that we're done with the production queue for the time being, let's go ahead and import some things. We will need a few things. For example, we're going to need to... Wait, why are we importing that much grain? Oh, I forgot. Right, so we're exporting right now a lot of grain, and we don't want to export any grain. In fact, overall, we want to keep all of that grain for ourselves. And now it seems like we can still import some grain from Qing, so might as well import the grain so we don't have issues with grain then. We're going to temporarily import some tools as well from the Swedes, some clothes from the Brits too. Apparently we can get some weapons as well from Qing. Whatever is necessary, essentially, you want to import it. Tea from the Ottomans, sure, why not? That should be okay for the time being. And I forgot to queue up my iron mines, so we're going to queue up 2 of them in Saratov and another 3 in Perm for now. Like I said earlier, we need to distribute the schnapps a little bit more even until we get stock exchange and we get rid of traditionalism at the very least, right? Now let's talk about our armies a little bit. We do have a ton of units, and I mean a ton of them, but I don't like to have that many, and I don't think I'm going to need to have that many separate armies. I'm going to just have 5 main army groups. So I'm going to be merging a lot of these army groups into these 5 army groups. Take note, we start with a lot of outdated units. So we have cannon artillery and we have hussars. We need to upgrade these to mobile artillery and lancers. You can tell the difference here. Hussars only have 10 and 15 offense and defense, and they have 1 grain input upkeep, whilst the lancers have a lot more upkeep. They have iron upkeep, small arms, grain, but they do double the offense, double the defense, and they have 5% kill rate and battle occupation plus 30%. So way more worth it than the hussars. Same goes here. The cannon artillery is significantly inferior to the mobile artillery, but it has a higher upkeep of artillery, so keep that in mind. It's always like this: the higher your unit, the more the upkeep's gonna be, with essentially later down the line the mechanized infantry having a lot of oil upkeep upkeep, ammunition, tanks, radios, and so on. But that's for the later part of the campaign, whenever we get the light goal, of course. We're gonna need these troopers because we're gonna be doing some early expansion, and because of that, we're gonna change our declared interest areas. So we're gonna have North China, since we want to take some provinces from the Chinese, including Beijing and the Manchurian bits. We're also gonna try and get ourselves a little bit of a foothold in South America, wherever it's possible, as well as Arabia for those early easy wars to take out Yemen, to take out the Najd, and the parts of Arabia that will have a lot of oil in the later part of the campaign. It's not like it's going to be a massive issue because we do have a lot of oil ourselves as the Russians, but having the oil in Arabia means we're starving other great powers like Britain, like whoever else would have had attacked this area if we didn't attack it. Early on in the campaign, they don't have so much interest in this, so they don't care about us attacking it too much. But as you progress, the English especially will protect Arabia, so you want to move fast and you want to get the Arabian lands as any nation, especially as the Russians, right, before anybody else does. Same goes for here. The Kenyan bits and start colonizing into Kenya or just taking over Zanzibar is a really good area since it's extremely high GDP as well, as is Madagascar, a pretty interesting spot to get, of course. We don't really care about France or about the Rhine, so I'm going to cancel that. Actually, I'm going to cancel Italy too since I don't care about it at all. And we're going to get Indonesia. We might do some expansion there. Indochina as well. And North Africa temporarily, plus mostly almost all of Africa really. So I'm doing this because a lot of other great powers will start diplomatic plays in these lands, and when they do start those diplomatic plays, I'm gonna be there to be swayed on either side, and maybe I can get myself some easy lands or some nice treaties or some bankrolls or some war reparations without doing anything. You'll see what I'm talking if it happens. It's just a good idea to be interested in areas that other great powers are interested in as well. Let's also import some more silk temporarily until we finish building our own silk plantations. And guys, very, very important, this is actually one of the worst part about Russia at the start, namely is the fact that we start with most of our country as unincorporated areas. So we need to incorporate these. The problem is that these being unincorporated means we don't get any taxes from these areas. We need to get those taxes, right? So we're gonna start with the big states in the east first, and then we're gonna get the rest of the Siberian parts afterwards as well. It does of course mean that we're gonna need to get a lot more bureaucracy, so those government administration buildings that we need to build anyway, because we're losing right now 96,000 from unrealized taxes because we don't have the government buildings built. It's kind of why I really enjoy playing as Russia in Victoria 3. Like, it has a lot of potential, but it is one of the most effed up nations in the campaign at the start. So if you don't know how to exactly fix all of these issues, you're gonna absolutely struggle with them massively the entire campaign. We've also started improving relations with certain nations. So we're improving with the Prussians, with the French, and with the English. We could also say temporarily improve with the Austrians because they might prove of help against our rivals, the Ottomans, longtime rivals, of course. I am, on the other hand, gonna make the Spanish my rivals, not because I really need to. Same with the Swedes. It's just because I'm gonna get some extra influence. So now we have 700 influence, meaning we can do more stuff as consequence. Plus, it also means we have 15% infamy decay. So us doing nasty schnapps doesn't make that much of a difference anymore because it's gonna go down a lot faster. We can also get a lot of alliances here with probably the Wallachians, Moldovans, and the Greeks. The Greeks would love us actually right now to ally. We don't even need to use obligations on these guys. Holy snaps. How about the Wallachians? They're close to it. -24 is actually pretty decent, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna try and gun for an alliance with either the French or the British later in the campaign. And I guess temporarily we can... No, I'm not gonna waste my influence points just for the Greek. We do have over here the Grand Duchy of Finland. We can ask them to reduce autonomy. They will accept, so we're not gonna be needing to do a war against them to accept that. So now they are a puppet, which means that we can annex them when the truce is over. And we also have these other puppets over here that we can annex right now. It's only 1.2. They will not accept, however, so we're gonna have to actually attack these guys. It's not gonna be too hard, obviously, since they're insignificant and they have like 3 battalions or some schnapps, and nobody also supports them. So we're just gonna do this as we go along in the campaign, so we can have borders with the stands, because we want to get all that juicy opium from the stands and of course from Qing and so on. We will attack Qing though once they are at war with the Brits, so it's going to be significantly easier for us to grab the provinces that we want to grab from them once they've started their struggle against the greatest empire, the British Empire, right? Temporary greatest. We're going to be bigger than them. In the New World, we will also try and gun for South America. Bolivia is a really great target actually, since it also offers the 3 small nations here that will become its junior partner as Peru, but also Argentina and Chile is very easy. And the reality is that a lot of the times the great powers don't care if you attack Argentina or Chile, but they do care a lot more if you attack Bolivia. So it's a little bit RNG. I will try both sides, and whichever works is fine with me, in my opinion. Doesn't matter which one you do first, also, to be fair. I'm gonna do my vassals here first, but it's up to you. It doesn't make any difference, really. Just assign these guys to the front line, and we seem to have an agitator for homesteading. Oh my god, that is so good RNG right there. Like, actually really good RNG. Holy mother, we need homesteading because we do have right now serfdom, and having homesteading is gonna make a massive freaking difference, man. Serfdom offers 50% political strength for the freaking gentry assembly or landowners, so it is one of the worst ones you can have. So yeah, getting rid of that is a vital thing, obviously. Since we're upgrading a lot of cannons, we also need more import of artillery. We're gonna do that from wherever we can get them. We're gonna need to build our own domestic industry of artillery and everything else, so we'll do that as we progress. It takes a while, but we'll get there. Let's also switch over to iron frame buildings temporarily. It's gonna help us build our construction sectors a little bit faster, but it is gonna have, I'm gonna queue this up at the bottom. We don't need to prioritize silk plantations whatsoever right now, and we also have a debuff of minus 19% construction efficiency in the Greater Caucasus, so there's that too, right? Hey, another 15% enactment chance. Don't mind if I do. 84%. We're about to get that right now, boys. Well, at least get it to the next phase, at least. I have to say, I really adore how you really see the convoys on the map moving. Check it out, and you see the different colors and everything. That is so cool, man, and this changes as you progress. I really like the immersiveness they added with the 1.5. It makes the game like a completely different game, in my opinion. Almost forgot to also merge up all of my fleets into one fleet, and let's continue with the other annexation of the rest of my vassal. I'm also gonna need some decent generals, and the thing is, I want to get a general that actually has some better traits. Maybe I can get some. Oh, this guy is a jingoist. Okay, that is not bad. Jingoist means that if we manage to get this guy in charge of our gentry assembly or the landowners, then he's gonna have a better stance on colonization, and most importantly, a amazing stance on professional army, which we really want to switch over to, because peasant levies right now, yeah, let's just recruit this guy here. Yeah, as I was saying, peasant levies offers 25% political strength of aristocrats. If we manage to get on over to the professional army, we're gonna be redoing the interest of the aristocrats, the servicemen and non-servicemen. So what's gonna happen is it's gonna rebalance the way that our pops see the interest groups, which is something we really need to do. Plus, overall, getting professional army is much better. Look at that. We can have up to 100 barracks max level, plus 1% conscription rate, morale loss reduction, and experience gain weekly for our armies and navies. So it's definitely worth getting professional armies, always. One more thing to note, guys, is that I don't have an actual investment pool right now, so there's no private sector that's building stuff for me. Why is that? Is because of the settings. I actually set it so that I have direct investment pool access, so the 1.3 million that is in the investment pool, I will be using to build stuff. Right now, unfortunately, I can only build buildings that are in the agriculture, plantation, or ranches area with the investment pool funds, because we have traditionalism. So I'm going to keep the money aside, and once we switch on over from traditionalism, I'm going to be able to use this investment pool money to build anything I want, and I will of course use it to build industrial buildings rather than freaking ranches and schnapps, right? But this is just my own personal preference. I actually recommend for newer players especially to just use the default feature, let the game build whatever it wants as private buildings, because a lot of people, you know, it's easier, let's face it. I'm a little bit of a control freak. That's why I want to make sure that I have the right buildings in the right places, and I'm not a fan of the AI building stuff in provinces that I don't want them to be building in, you know. Also, I want to point out that why I love Perm is as well because it has the iron ore mine throughput plus 20% and the logging throughput plus 20%. Same goes for the Urals, iron mine throughput plus 20%, and we can have up to 96 mines and 84 coal mines. Actually, I'm wrong. Perm and Ural are the best states for coal/iron mines, and then after it's the rest over here. These are by far the best. I think they've actually rebalanced some of these, haven't they? I didn't even pay attention before. All right, we got dedicated police force now. Problem is, we also have 22% tax waste, so we're going to need to build those government buildings now. We do have some support for colonial resettlement and colonial exploitation, but even better than that, we have support for charity hospitals. Now, charity hospitals is better than no hospitals because it's going to give us standard of living for the lower strata, which is the majority of our country, plus 0.5 per level. We want to eventually get public health insurance, obviously, But charity hospitals is, of course, really good as well, even though it increases the Orthodox Church political strength, unfortunately, right? So we're going to go for that first. And let's also queue up some of those government administration buildings that we desperately need. Now, let's check which states would be the most beneficial for that. I think Kursk and Kiev would be, in fact, those two states. So let's actually alt-click one in each, and then afterwards another 3 in each, I guess. The Argentinians are fearful. There is a chance that they might actually give up and just become our protectorate without any sort of a fight. I would love to see that happen, but let's see. Nobody has supported them, which is to be expected, of course. They've declared neutrality. They got their own wars to be worrying about, including the British have started their war against the Qing. All right, we got to fight this. No problem. Let's go ahead and navally invade them in that case. 10% extra enactment chance. Hails to the yes, boys. Trade agreement with the Brits. Don't mind if I do, actually. Wow, instantly, as we just researched stock exchange, our economy increased by 20,000. Holy mother, man. That says a lot. And of course, without any sort of a surprise, we're absolutely crushing the Argentinians. I like getting all of these areas earlier on the campaign because it's obviously a lot less infamy when you get this in the early bit of the campaign compared to getting it in the later part when, you know, they've grown in GDP and pop, so it costs a lot more infamy. Like this is 13 infamy right now. That is almost nothing. All right, another desperate allies. The intelligentsia gets interest group approval. Hell yeah, that's literally what I want. It's not even desperate allies. That is a good thing, brother. Okay, we need to build up more construction sectors. Let's go, baby. Let's go. We need to boost up our construction production because we were actually very behind. I should have done this a while back. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Everything is good. All right, time for another naval invasion, courtesy of the Russian Imperial Fleet. We also got lathes, so let's go for dye workshop, as well as lathes for the furniture manufacturing and leaded glass. We do have that one lead mine now. We're gonna need to build a little bit more lead mines, I guess. Well, increase the size of the lead mine, really. And look at this, guys. Our tooling workshop is absolutely struggling because we do not have enough iron. So we need to build a lot more iron now. We're gonna queue up a ton of iron mines. However, because charity hospitals is getting adopted a lot faster than I expected it to, we're gonna need to queue up more government administration buildings also. So let's see which area is struggling the most. Still Kursk, Kiev, and Bryansk. Okay, and Kazan. All right, so let's queue up a few more in those areas. Okay, we got roughly 6 more in there, and let's also get more iron mines now. Say 10 of these for now in Saratov, and then we build more, another 5 say in Perm, and another 5 afterwards in Urals. That should be fine for the initial phase, I guess. So we've past charity hospitals, but now we have a little bit of a dilemma because we really want to get professional army. However, the problem is that we have a lot of opposition from the Gentry Assembly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the mind of the Gentry Assembly. So I'm going to cancel the Gentry Assembly from the government. There you go. And then I'm going to exile this guy here and hope that the new leader of the Gentry Assembly is not going to be a traditionalist and maybe even going to be a jingoist, because jingoist would be pro-professional army. So how do you make sure that you get a jingoist? Well, you make sure that pretty much everybody of your characters, that means all of your admirals and generals, will be either a jingoist or will have some sort of inclination that supports the legislation that you want to have supported. So like this guy here. This guy could potentially be our new leader. I'm going to promote him to level 5 so he has a higher chance of getting the new leadership. Now, if he has a lot of popularity, that's going to increase his chance also to become the new leader. This guy doesn't have much popularity. I think we have a second jingoist that has more popularity though. Actually, no, the second guy is a reformer, which is also not a bad one. Better than traditionalist, obviously. So this would allow us to get compulsory primary education, as well as properly tied women and cultural exclusion. Cultural exclusion is seriously on my mind as well. So yeah, I don't mind a jingoist or a reformer instead of the traditionalist guy. Come on, boys, we got a foothold. Peru is rightful Russian clay. Everybody knows it's passed down from ancient Russians. Shut up, don't think about it too much. Yay, I think that's their capital, isn't it? Yep, La Paz should be their capital state. So we've essentially won, and they have become our protectorate, and we have 4.4 reputation, sorry, infamy, which means we can attack another nation and make them our vassal. We're probably going to do the same with a lot of places, including most of South America and the Middle East, because we can. Why not? We're an expansionist Russia, all right? That's what we are here. All right, guys, so now that we've gotten our charity hospitals, we need to also get that professional army. However, we have a lot of opposition from the Gentry Assembly, so what I'm going to do is a little bit of a trick here. I'm going to get the Gentry Assembly out of my government, and whilst master out of the government, I'm going to fire the leader of the Gentry Assembly by exiling him because he is, after all, a traditionalist when it comes to ideology. That means that likely the new leader of the Gentry Assembly is going to be selected from either my admirals or my generals. So I'm going to make sure that every single one of my general has the ideology that I want him to have. I'm talking about the generals that are a part of that particular interest group. So for example, Mr. Ivan Pashchikik, which is a part of the Gentry Assembly, is a royalist. I don't want a royalist. Screw you, bro. Get out of here. Retire, commander. I'm retiring every single one of these guys that is in the Gentry Assembly and is not the thing that I want him to be, including the naval guys. So Vasily Vashoskos, you're gonna have to be let go, bro. Sorry. Only keep the guys that are jingoists or reformers. Either one of them I'm okay with. So this guy's a jingoist. How about this guy? He is a reformer, and this guy is also a reformer. He's level 5. So usually the guys that are the highest level will have the highest chance of getting selected. So this guy, I'm gonna need to promote him to level 5 if he's gonna have a chance against the other guy. Now it's gonna be down to popularity. So the higher the popularity they have, the higher the chance to become the new Gentry Assembly leader. Let's go over here, fire this guy, exile dissident, and the new guy is a reformer. That is not so bad. Reformer means we're gonna have a chance at getting cultural exclusion. We now have 50% chance to get cultural exclusion, which I'm down with. As long as you have a shared trait with any primary culture in the country, then you are basically a lot better off. Now, cultural exclusion is of course a pretty big deal, but it's going to lower our authority by a little bit, so keep that in mind too. That's fine. It's better than nothing, right? We're gonna get this, and then we're gonna do the same trick again and try and get the jingoist guy so we can get the professional army. Although we cannot just do that continuously, so we got to keep that in mind as well. All right, I need to build up more iron mines. How many do we have queued up? A few. All right, we're gonna have to build up this stuff, and whilst we're doing that, let's attack new nations, and also let's build up more construction sectors because we can do so. As long as we get away with attacking nations and nobody cares, we're gonna continue to do it, right? We've also queued up more universities so we can maximize the amount of innovativeness that we need to get, but we have a distinct shortage of every single thing in the country, so we're gonna start slowly ramping up what we're producing here. So we're gonna get 2 more glass works in our capital, a few more in Novgorod, 2 more paper mills in Novgorod, that is. Furniture manufacturers are really good. I'd love to build these in Moscow, but until I get railways, I don't have enough market access there. So I'm not gonna do it in Moscow. I'm gonna do a secondary one in Minsk, where I do have a little bit of extra infrastructure. So let's get up to 10 in Minsk of these furniture manufactories. Now, furniture is really vital because furniture is required by all of our population, especially by the middle and upper class. They really love furniture. So we can make a ton of money from furniture and grow our GDP easily in the early part of the campaign by just spamming furniture manufactories as well as textile mills for that matter. So we can build a few of these in Bryansk, say 8 of these in Bryansk to go up to 10 flat. Holy shit, that was so fast. We got cultural exclusion in like literally record time. What? The best thing ever, boys. Atmospheric engine pumps is here. So now we can change on over these production methods to the atmospheric engine pump, which is going to make huge differences here. Now, I'm talking about massive differences. That being said, for example, Saratov seems to be struggling with the amount of tools that it's getting. So we're going to import some tools, and we're also going to queue up at least 20 tooling workshops because we really need to ramp up the production of tooling workshops. Since we already have some in Mazovia, let's out-click a few and then regular click afterwards an extra 19 so we get up to 20 in Mazovia. Germany is at war, boyos, and I think this is just Bavaria attacking its neighbors, nothing else, isn't it? Or no, it is. Okay, it's a aristocratic revolt of Württemberg. Never mind. I got too excited right there. Now we have the diplomatic play for German leadership. Okay, I might join in here just so I can get some stuff. Ottomans sided with Prussia. Oh, let's see. Oh, come on. I didn't pause in time. They offered me something. Obligations. No, I'm not gonna do that for obligations. Get out of here. If you want me to join you, I would like, what would I like? Some sort of, liberate Transylvania. Actually, I think I'm not gonna get involved since I do have trade agreements with the Austrians, and I kind of like to see Europe balanced, not have one nation get bigger than the other two. So when Germany gets formed, I'd like to see a strong Austria as well. Oh, Austria wants to be my ally. What? England wants to be my... Hells to the yes, bro. I don't mind having the world's greatest power allied to me, especially since I'm attacking basically all the areas that they would technically have an interest in a few moments. Hey, we managed to get professional army without doing any actual shenanigans when it comes to getting a new leader for the Gentry Assembly, so that's pretty good. Now, let's see what else we can get here. Serfdom, we can try and go for tenant farming. It's gonna be tough. 49% opposition from the Gentry Assembly is a lot. It is a lot. But it would mean we get 25% 40% political strength for the gentry assembly rather than 50%. We want to get homesteading, but we got to work our way before slowly trying and reach homesteading. It's you know, it's better than serfdom, let's face it. It really sucks that we only have 74 innovation, man. We really need to increase our literacy. It's 16.4%, brother. That is not good. I don't think I've stayed at peace for more than a second in this campaign. Like, I've actually genuinely just been attacking left and right continuously. But hey, it's worth it. We have most of South America as our vassals or puppets, and we've we started expanding into Yemen. We got some parts of Africa. We got Khiva. Now we're gonna get the Uzbekia and so on. So we're growing significant. Also forgot to attack the Qing. So I guess the next war is gonna be against Qing. We also have massive shortages of fertilizer because we just discovered the technology for it. Well, we basically just got the ability to build fertilizer plants. So we're gonna build 20 in Kursk. I'm going to alt-click a few of these at the top of the queue though. Say 5 of them for now. And I'm also going to expand the construction sectors again. Finally, we managed to get tenant farmers. Actually, that was on the first attempt, so I shouldn't say finally. I should say, of course we would have gotten tenant farmers. Clearly, ha ha ha. Totally never was any sort of question if we're gonna get it. Now, the big change is gonna be the religious schools, not only because of the education access, but really just because of the education access. That's pretty much it. We want to switch to public schools later down the line because we also get the assimilation that we really want. But yeah, for now, this is gonna have to do, I guess. Also, time for the big war with the Chinese. Now, we have a few things we want from them. We want to take a few provinces, as well as we want to liberate Mongolia, since Mongolia is going to be able to become our puppet or protectorate afterwards when the truce is over, or we can even just add them to the market, which is as well as good as, you know, having them as a part of us. Either way works. Now, unsurprisingly, we're kicking butt when it comes to this war because we have better units and bigger peepees. Hey, that's how you win wars in this game, clearly. We could also do a few naval invasions if we want to, but we don't need to because the British are already handling that by, you know, going out of their little fort in Hong Kong here. They're crushing the Chinese from here with fewer troops, considerably fewer, and they're kicking some freaking Chinese butts, man. All about having better tech. Reality is in this game, check it out, 65 advantage for us simply because we have better technology compared to the Chinese starting units. But now, all that being said, after this war is done, we're gonna chill for a while because we have 53 notoriety. So we really don't want to get any more. We need to bring it down below 20 if possible, and then we can start expanding a little bit again. But hey, it's just the first 10 years of the campaign. We've done so much, and we're gonna get half of freaking China after this war. So we do deserve to chill and just build up our economy afterwards and reform our country. So also make sure we have our designated strategic interest here, which is of course going to be Beijing. And look at this, man. We've actually gotten so many freaking loyalists. That's insane, brother. Guess it means we're doing something right. We need to build this up too, so we need to build more government administration buildings, especially since we need bureaucracy for the schools here. Wait, what? Heavenly Kingdom? The fuck? Did these guys just rebel whilst these guys are at war with me? Brother, that is actually nasty. All right, boys, we got most of China. Their war score is going down, and it's gonna go down faster now, so we've basically got this in the bag, don't we now? Curious what the Heavenly Kingdom's actually going to take from the Qing after they finish their war. Are they going to just replace the entirety of Qing, or is it going to be two separate? Probably the second option now that I think about it. Defeat them! Run them over with your horses. What? Now we can actually start ramping up everything with railways unlocked. We've got massive market access issues, so this is going to help us out immensely, boys. Absolutely immensely. Let's build up our first ones in, I guess, Moscow. And what was the one that had 54? Yakutsk. Where the hell is Yakutsk? Is it this one? It is, yeah. All right, let's build up a couple of these in here as well. And we just got a huge chunk out of China. Look at this. We got Mongolia freed up. We got the outer Manchurian bits. We got Beijing. We got this area here. So in the next war, we're going to take what's left in the north, and we're going to try and get all the way into Tibet because it's really low infamy, actually. It's like 3 infamy for all of the states in the western parts that they have. So we're going to get all of those in the next war. As for these guys, they might join our customs union when we're not so infamous. So we got to bring that infamy down a little bit. Actually, after unpausing, it's almost there. So if we get a defensive pact, I don't want to use my obligation with them just for that though. Now, very important, we need to build some ports here because Beijing doesn't have any ports, and as a consequence, we have 0 market access. access. We need to connect this to the rest of our country, boys. Prussia wants to be my ally. Isn't England my ally? I guess not anymore. Okay. I don't mind helping Prussia, old boy, here to unify Germany. Now it's time to catch up with everybody else, and we're gonna have to increase our institution level for religious schools. How high can we get this? Level 2. That's fine. Better than nothing. We were gonna try and get it to level 5 as soon as we can, since we have 17 illiteracy. Basically, the only people that know how to read and write in our country are Shmagagadebu, Boris, and Ivan. All three of them. That's it. And look at that. We can get Mongolia in our trade union or market access. So now our market is significantly bigger as consequence. Oh, and Austria-Hungary just formed. I'm also gonna queue up a few of these vineyards, since we have so much in our investment pool. We might as well make use of it, and we are lacking a little bit when it comes to wine. We might as well produce a lot of wine and export what we produce extra, and you know, keep for the rest of the people, so our standard of living goes up a little bit more since it's cheaper. Wow, all we did was try and help the Germans form Germany, and the whole freaking world now hates us. That's not even fair, man. We're trying to be the good guys here, okay? We're trying to help people out. Okay, we have the South Bessarabian retrocession. Now, this is a historical event that actually happened, in which the Russian Empire gave some provinces within Bessarabia to Moldova, provinces that had belonged to Moldova for thousands of years. Well, hundreds of years, really, because Moldova's not that old. But my point is that these were provinces that historically had been Moldovan, that were taken by the Russian Empire prior, and were now, well, were taken by the Ottomans, then by the Russians, and now in the 1800s, they were given back to the Moldovans when they unified with Romania and formed the United Principalities. Now, these were later traded, and after another Ottoman-Russian war, Dobroja was given to the United Principalities, and these provinces in Bessarabia were given back to the Russian Empire. It's a little bit more complicated. Now, we could here improve our relations with them by giving them 4 provinces in Bessarabia and Dobroja, or we can just keep those provinces for ourselves. Honestly, it's better to just keep it for yourself if you're playing against the Russians, but I'm just gonna give it because I want to see the United Principalities. I want to see the schnapps happen here, and I am Romanian / you know, Moldovan, really, which is, by the way, Romanian. There's no difference between Moldova and Romania. It's the same people, and I want to see it happen, so that's why I gave it. Looks like Germany is also massively losing this. Everybody's piecing out, so I might actually peace out myself. Don't really care too much about it. And the peace treaty is done. I think it was a white peace because I didn't see anybody enforce nothing on the other. Oh, I see how it goes. Right after the war, I got a defensive alliance with Austrians. Okay, that right there is politics in a nutshell, boys. And we got the tech to go up to level 3 with our education, which is why we're building all of these government administration buildings. I actually kind of forgot about the Caucasus, so I'm attacking Circassia and the other Circassian state here, Caucasian, Imamat, whatever. And I'm no shot, dude. No, what the? Okay, buddy. Alrighty, buddy. Where is he? We need to get him. We need to get him right now. Monsieur Georgy Shuvalov? No, not this one. This one. Ksenia Kornilov is gonna help us get landed voting. Hails to the yeah, baby. But yeah, as I was saying, we're cutting up some loose ends here, and we're also lowering the autonomy of our subjects, so it's a lot more green on the map than it was before. And we're also building the railway, so we get the Trans-Siberian Railway network. Oh, China appeared. And not only China, we got Manchuria, Xibe, Tibet, Uiguristan, Tuva, all future integral parts of our society, because guess what? We got 33 infamy, so that means we can fit all of these guys into the Russian Empire now. After a very long struggle, we managed to get some support for interventionism, so we get rid of that horrible traditionalism that's been affecting me so much. This is my 4th attempt to get rid of traditionalism. If we manage it, we're gonna be skyrocketing right afterwards. 4 infamy to make a protectorate out of Uiguristan. Why is it so cheap? I'm not gonna complain. I'm gonna do it. Oh, I just realized they actually have a revolution, aristocratic revolt. Right, okay. Now the revolt is over, so what the fuck, man? Why are my troops over there? Ah! This bug has been around since the freaking game. Fix it. Huzzah, one more tributary. These guys I'm probably gonna fully annex, though. I don't need to make Tuva a tributary. All right, looks like we can pretty much have a declared interest in the entirety of the freaking planet now. Oh dear, we're back to 62% notoriety or infamy, so after we take Manchuria, it's another time at Chilius, boys. We've been using a lot of infamy to lower the autonomy of our subjects in South America, so that's kind of why it went up so much. So now that we did the Trans-Siberian Railway, every military-owned state in East Siberia and West Siberia gets for the next 5 years coal, iron, sulfur throughput bonuses, as well as migration attraction. So this is the moment to be going and exploring some Siberian towns. On the bright side, our literacy is also increasing since we managed to get leveled for our education. So now it is 1868. We do have a pretty okay situation when it comes to our politics. We managed to get per capita taxation. We're going to be going for graduated taxation, but later. That is not a priority for us. We have interventionism, which means that we can use our investment pool to build up agriculture, plantation ranches, manufacturing industries, mines, forestries, and so on. But we want to get laissez-faire, and we do have some support for that from the gentry assembly and the industrialists. So we're going to be trying to get that, since that's going to offer us one extra company, loan interest rate minus 25%, and a lot of other amazing goodies, of course. Now take note, I am using the manual investment pool allocation of buildings from the settings. I've seen some people say that that is not fair, because if you just do the default one, then it's going to be harder because the AI is going to build certain buildings. I agree. The AI is going to build certain buildings. I am a control freak. I want to make sure that the right buildings are built in the right place. If you don't want to do that and you want to let the AI randomly build schnaps wherever they want it, that's your problem, okay? I'm going to build shit with the investment pool the way that I like it, though. And you can do so too, because there's no benefit to not having this enacted from the settings. There's literally no benefit. And this is, after all, an achievements game. So, like I said, if it turned off achievements or something, I would have turned it off. But it doesn't, so I don't care. All right, let's see what else we have here. Our budget right now is 800,000. We can go up to 900,000 if you go for maximum taxation. We're not going to do that, of course. We have a little bit more than we should consumption taxes, but I'm going to keep it like that for now until I grow my GDP a little bit more. We don't have too much tax waste, though, so that's pretty decent. We have a lot of infamy as it is, 73.7, so we have to wait for this to go down. One thing I'm doing to help this go down is I have a little bit of extra influence, which offers me minus a plus 17% infamy decay, meaning we can lower the infamy a little bit faster. We can get this up a little bit more if we stop using even more of our influence, so maybe I could end the defensive alliance with the Mongolians. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. So now it's plus 24% infamy decay, significantly more. It does cap at plus 25. All of these cap at plus 20, at 25 bonus. So this one caps at minus 25 enactment chance when you have 100% extra authority. This one caps at plus 25 construction efficiency if you have, of course, 100% extra excess bureaucracy. Same for this, competitiveness for your trade routes, and that's it. This one obviously doesn't have any cap and such. Our population right now is 85 million, 107 GDP, so we have the highest GDP in the world, followed very closely by the Brits. So we're gonna be curb stomping them, of course. We are technically the greatest power, we just don't have the prestige to show for it, but it's fine. We will get prestige as we progress in the campaign. We have a lot of puppets and subjects and so on around the world. There you go, right here. We have all of these puppets and dominions. It's probably easier for me to show. So China, we have Manchuria, Uiguristan. I'm gonna get the Chibe and all of these guys as well as puppets. We have most of South America. Some of these are not yet, I need to reduce the autonomy to have them as the same color as me. So Uruguay, I would have to actually fight. These guys have bowls right here. They're not gonna accept me lowering the autonomy. That is something for sure. So I guess I should do that next, actually. Let's do it right now. It might get me into a war with the Brazilians, but it's fine. I don't really care too much about that. I've also renamed my armies, so I have them named as first, second, and so on imperial armies. We need to do the army composition a little bit better because we haven't actually been building up any army composition. So we're gonna try and gun for 50 skirmish infantry, 20 or 25 mobile artillery, and 10 lancers. That's gonna be it for the first part of this campaign. We're gonna add more as we progress, and all of the armies, all 7 of them or 6 of them, are gonna have this exact composition. We are lacking massively tools, so we're gonna start ramping up our tool production. Our MAPI is decent now. We have 90% MAPI, 90% because we need another 10% for the last 2 technologies here, namely the Zeppelins offer an extra 5% and another 5% from macroeconomics. Then we have 100% MAPI, of course, but that's pretty long way down to get there since we need to catch up with technology. We are capped at our innovation, but our education is we only have 40% literacy, so we need to get our literacy a lot higher. Whatever we have extra is spilled into here. We don't have right of assembly, so we do have censorship, which means we are lacking an extra 10% technology spread, so we're gonna have to pass this up to right of assembly. That means we need to get more support for the intelligentsia and the trade leagues, which in turn means we will be able to pass this legislation. Our government right now does not include either of those, and the trade leagues are basically marginalized and angry for that matter, because we've done a lot of things that they're not cool with apparently. We could technically go down to 54% and bring in the intelligentsia, but that is not a priority. After laissez-faire, maybe I'll do it. Let's see. My biggest issue, and I think a lot of you have noticed this also from the comment section, is that I don't have enough construction sectors. I need to build a lot more construction sectors if I'm going to be properly industrializing my nation as the Russians. I should have at least double that by 1868. So I'm going to focus on getting that up a little bit more now. Let's say double the ones that I already have built in Tver, Orshka, and Ingria, and so on. Of course, the higher the population areas should take a little bit of priority as well, since higher pop areas means more people to work in those states, obviously. We're not lacking population to work in our country, though. 15 million peasants is a lot of peasants that we need to get employed, and we have a lot of subjects that we need to lower the autonomy for. So there's a lot of things to do, but I think that as we progress in this campaign, we're going to ramp up massively. And even though our infamy is super high, we can start a few wars after the Uruguay War, where we essentially just liberate countries. Like I want to liberate Bulgaria and a few other countries from the Ottomans, essentially just make the Ottomans Turkey and keep them as Turkey, right? And stuff like that. Maybe liberate Transylvania so Romania gets it, so we have a little bit of a buffer zone here. Market-wise, we have a few extra nations in the market. We got the Mexicans in the Russian market, and I'm going to try and get a few extra nations in the market. I think, let's see, who else would love to join my market? Romania might actually join my market if I increase the trade volume and I lower my infamy. So yeah, essentially just need to lower my infamy is pretty much it. Okay, that is actually very surprising. I didn't expect the US to be supporting Uruguay. Yeah, I'm not transferring you anything, bro. Wait, ban slavery in the US. What? They still have not banned that? No shot, bro. No freaking shot. Wow. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother with them too much. I don't think they're gonna do any successful invasions, and they're just gonna probably give up after I've taken the war score in Uruguay. Holy snaps, boys. We just passed laissez-faire. My economy just boosted itself by a frack ton the second I got this done. As for the company that I'm gonna go for, I'm probably gonna go for the Tver premium metals or minerals, since I need the extra throughput for the coal mines and the sulfur mines and the fertilizer plants. So yeah, I think this is definitely the play here. Hey, we capitulated the Americans because we did a naval invasion in California, and they were just like, you invade me? No, only I can invade you. The second you invade me, I give up. That's exactly how these sounded, in case you're wondering. And I obviously did this because they had most of their units bogged down over in Uruguay, pissing me off and not letting me even advance in my war goal here. Okay, there you go. Now we're gonna get involved a little bit in the French situation here, because the French Empire might give us some obligations if we help them out, and in return we can use them in future wars against our enemies, right? Always a good idea to look out for these kind of situations. We do have right now interest in pretty much the entirety of the planet. Actually, I think it is going to be the actual entirety of the planet if I'm done with it. Yep, we can have up to 25, not the entirety, but almost the entirety of the planet. I also want to point out that I really appreciate you guys telling me stuff in the comment section. I always go through the comments, and I saw a couple of you saying that if you want to pass all the good legislation at the start, what you can do is you can make your leader, Alexander Romanov, well, actually your heir, because he starts as the heir, the leader of the Gentry Assembly. So how you do that is your initial leader, you abdicate. This guy is going to become the new leader of the country, and he's going to have neutral attitude. So by getting a royal marriage for him, it's going to give him an extra 25 popularity after that royal marriage. So you can actually get him in charge of the Gentry Assembly. That's actually true. I tested that out, and by getting him in charge of the Gentry Assembly, because he is a market liberal, you can get interventionalism or even laissez-faire and a lot of the other good legislations passed in the first year. It's insane. It's actually super freaking broken. I never knew about that, so I appreciate you guys telling me in the comment section, because the next time I'm going to play as the Russians, I'm going to obviously do that, since that seems to be an absolutely super overpowered and broken strat, if you ask me. Imagine getting laissez-faire in 1837 with a lot of other with homesteading as well. I think you can get if you get them in. So yeah, that is really good. Thank you for telling me. I never knew that. I appreciate you letting me know about that. Wait a second, we can actually get a bankroll from the French Empire. Oh my god. I'm gonna go ahead and say yes, or no. I'm just gonna go for the obligation. It's fine. I'm gonna go for the obligation because getting the obligation means I can use them against the Prussians in the future, or the Austrians even. And now let's send some of these bad boys over here to help out. Also, we can try and get secret police we have only endorsement. We don't have any opposition for it, so it's likely going to pass. Let's go, baby. Time to crush them. Oh, we're actually winning. What the hell? Wait a second. What kind of units they have then? This poses a lot of question for me. Am I troops stronger than the French units? Let's see. They got skirmishers, lancers. We have the same actual units, so it's about having more units than the other side then. And we do have, of course, a lot more than most countries in this game. But we do need to start building up our armies. So let's actually start recruiting more, and let's get the generals, because some of these armies don't even have the generals apparently. 12 more skirmishers. Thank you very much. Let's see where we have a lot of population. How about Astrakhan? All right, we got the dynamite, so we can change our production methods here to dynamite from nitroglycerin. The big difference, as most of you probably already know, is that nitroglycerin has up to 30% mortality for its laborers, which is a big problem, whilst dynamite has no mortality debuff, and it increases the coal production significantly, but it does mean we need to have more explosives plants now, so we're gonna have to ramp up the production of explosives by a ton. So let's say get this up by another 5 in here, another 6 in here. Yeah, we're gonna need a lot more. We're probably gonna have to set up a brand new state for just the explosives plants. Let's say, where do we have a lot of population and not so much buildings, not so many buildings built? Let's say Bryansk. Actually, get an extra 20 in Bryansk for now. Come on, destroy the Frenchies. They got a lot of defense. Holy snaps. Probably means they have a lot more artillery than I do, don't they? Likely. Oh, we got a secondary awesome technology. So this means we're gonna need to build fertilizer plants now as well. Boost this production by a ton as well, since all of these are gonna be massively doubling the amount of grain and everything else that we're gonna be getting from them. But it does mean we need a lot more fertilizer. So from 20, we're gonna go up to 50. Yeah, let's just have 50 fertilizer plants in Kursk. Let's do 51 so we get the actual throughput from it. So another 31 means eventually we're gonna get plus 50% throughput from having 51 exactly. And that should also last us for quite a while, since we're not going to need any more of that for the foreseeable future. We have an agitator that's wanting us to support, to go for homesteading. I don't mind that, actually. I don't mind at all going for homesteading right after we do the current secret police. But the Orthodox Church is opposing that. Okay. They're not revolting, though. They would have to have minus 10 to revolt, which they wouldn't. The main thing I'm doing, though, is just I'm chilling until this goes down. 57 is still quite a lot. Once we reach like 30, I think we can start expanding again. Perfect. We got the secret police. Let's see if we can do the homesteading now. 6% approval. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a rough ride, but it's totally worth it. Because look, also we get 5 million more loyalists because of placating the political movement for homesteading too. And we just capitulated the enemies, which means we got the one obligation with the French. We could use it to get an alliance with them, but I'm not going to do that. Of course, I don't want an alliance with the French just yet. What kind of government they have, actually? Let's see. They are a monarchy, laissez-faire, no health system, private schools, professional army. All right, they actually have a pretty decent situation here when it comes to their legislation. Similar to us, actually. Education level is level 2. Lower than mine, though. Oh, wait, what? We have 35% success chance. I thought it was going to be less than that. That's not bad at all. And I'm thinking maybe I should start lowering my taxes a little bit more. Not just yet. We're fine. Not just yet. Let's actually ramp up our construction even more now. Enactment of homesteading in Russia progresses by 1. Yeah, why not? I don't mind lowering the approval of the armed forces. Nobody gives a schnaps what the armed forces think, okay? Since I am chilling, I'm gonna start a few expeditions here, starting with the one in the Congo River. Let's get Mr. Viktor Matveyev to go over there and check out what's going on. We could also survey the Suez Isthmus. I'll do it in a while. I need to get a little bit more bureaucracy beforehand, I guess. Ooh, Sichuan just backed down. Flat out just backed. They didn't even want to fight me, man. What? All right, let's see where we at now. We are at 63% notoriety. Maybe we can do one more Chinese miner before we chill for a while. Or maybe we can start integrating these guys, actually, now that I think about it. How much is that? 5? Yeah, screw it. Let's do this. The debuff, I guess you could say, of getting homesteading is that we get extra political strength for the farmers, which means the rural folk interest group is going to get significantly more power now. But it's not such a bad thing, actually, because they are able to give us 10% extra agricultural tax income and a little bit of throughput for the agriculture ranches and plantations. So it's really decent, I'd say. We do have an extra agitator to close borders. That is not going to happen, though, boyos. Definitely not going to. We're going to just just get this guy out of here. We don't want to close our borders. Thank you very much. Minus 10% urbanization per urban center and 1 extra companies is exactly what I need, since companies is the lifeline of this nation, let's face it. Now let's see what we're gonna go for here, because we have a lot of options, like the extra iron throughput, steel mill throughput, lead throughput. Oh my god, I'm so gonna go for this. But then again, I also want the Russian gold company because I have a lot of gold mines. Oh, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna go for the metal guilds, and maybe I'll go for the gold mines afterwards. Now we're also invading Gaza here because this is a really easy way to get into South Africa. I should have probably done this a while back, to be fair, but I did get Marina as my protectorate, so we did that at least, right? And plus we were pretty much busy with getting all of South America with the exception of Brazil as our puppet. So yeah, there's that. Rest assured, we are literally on the edge here. 80 infamy is really bad. We gotta wait for this go down, right? We really do. But as I'm waiting for this to go down, I'm slowly doing a few extra wars, let's say. I might be a little bit of a warmonger. Sulfur is a problem. I'm the world's first producer of sulfur, and still I don't have enough. Let's see, potential for sulfur, we have a lot of it in the Norwegian lands. Okay, we need to integrate Kiva. They have sulfur. That is good to see. And Uyghuristan we have to integrate. They also have some sulfur. Maybe go into here and get some sulfur from there. Yeah, why not? Greece could be a potential nice little puppet since they also have sulfur as well. Yeah, okay, so now I see where I can get my sulfur. You want to see something really funny though? Check this out. We are the world's leading producer of wood by a long shot. I'm producing 16,000. Second after me is the Chinese with 3.8, right? And I still don't have enough. I'm still like 3,000 wood short. How much wood do you need, man? Come on. I'm gonna just queue up another 100 logging camps and see if that fixes issues. One thing is sure in this game, no matter what, you're always gonna be in shortage of wood. So it goes down to that old Stronghold Crusader saying, right? Wood needed, my lord. I could offer my support over here to the French in exchange for bankrolling. Let's get the French Empire to bankroll the world's leading economy. I've got more GDP in some of my states than the entirety of France here. Well, no, I'm exaggerating, but I will have so in a few years. I will have more than 50 mil in my capital and so on. Right now we're strong at 22 million, which is not too bad. We do need to ramp up our production of manufactories, so let's say 31 more manufactories of furniture and I don't know, like 22 textile mills for the time being, I guess. Considering that I'm opening up their market, I'm banning slavery, and I'm getting some war reps, I feel like I've brought this particular nation on par with the rest of the world, since they have much better legislation than they had before now, don't they? You know, my standard of living would skyrocket if I was to cancel all of these consumption taxes, but I'm not gonna do so. You better pay up, boys. If you live in my country, you better pay up. 4.1k progress for cameras. I'll take that. Thank you very much. I'll definitely take that. And time to crack down on who here? Maybe on the party of peaceful renovation. Let me point this out. This is the weirdest thing I've seen in any playthrough. The industrialists in the same political party as the freaking gentry assembly. That makes no freaking sense to me. All right, we did do a few things here, and we might be able to get wealth voting. Census suffrage would be too much. People might actually revolt against us if we do that. So we're gonna try here. Gentry assembly is against it, but they wouldn't be super pissed out about it. So we might be able to pass wealth voting as such, leading towards a more democratic nation overall. Let me also quickly whoop-a-roop-a-doop so I can get those sulfur mines in Kiva. And in case you're wondering, I did go to very low taxation for the time being because I can afford it. And yes, I am aware I need to build more construction sectors. Prussia's offering to bankroll us if we help them out against the Austrians. Why not, man? It's been a while since the start of the campaign. They failed like freaking 4 times to actually unify Germany, so why not? Let's get them to unify. We might even make the Germans our good old ally until we don't want them as an ally anymore, and we want them as a proper rival and worthy opponent of our nation. Better to have a worthy opponent than an unworthy one, right? Okay, I'm getting the vibe that this is actually going to be the First World War because France is on the side of Austria. Italy joined as well. What the hell, man? I was expecting this to be a small skirmish, not a freaking actual world war here, boyos. Egypt also is taking sides. What? Okay, that means the Ottomans likely gonna go on the enemy side. Let's see. I wasn't kidding, man. Look at this. Literally freaking half of the world is involved in this particular war. Freaking insane how we're actually making more money now that we are at war than we were making prior to the war starting. Even though like half of our trade routes are gone, we're still basically making absolute bank here. By contrast, the second afterwards is the Brits with 98 million, less than half of what we're making here. Looks like France left one of their flanks here unguarded, so we're taking advantage of that. We sent a quick unit here to advance a little bit whilst we can. Looks like they caught onto it though, so we cannot advance anymore. But we took the pressure off of the Italian front now for on the bright side, right? And we just got wealth voting, halla freaking Luya, as well as the Red Scare is here. Yeah, do we want the Red Scare? Yeah, that's it's gonna be interesting to see how that develops, isn't it? And France has pieced out. Now we just gotta piece out the Austrians themselves. You also gotta build a lot more infrastructure. I'm a little bit lagging actually with infrastructure, surprisingly. That's right, Austria, get out of my lands. And by my lands, I mean get out of Prussia's lands, which technically might be my lands as well, because you know the difference between Russia and Prussia is literally just the P. Get it? Because it's Russia, Prussia with the P in front. I'll stop now. And of course, we're losing because of no, actually we're not losing. We're actually gaining very much so. Oh, okay. Conquer Württemberg. Wait, what? Württemberg lost and Austria-Hungary actually freaking took everything. No, that's gonna be a very ugly Germany now. I don't want to see ugly Germany. We're also trying to get level 5 for law enforcement, so we do one of our journal entries, and level 4 for home affairs, so we get less political movement, radicalism, and as such have an easier time to pass our legislation that we need to pass, right? Looks like we also can change from state religion. We want to change from state religion so we can pass afterwards from religious schools to public schools. We cannot get public schools if we have state religion in our church and state part of legislation, so we got to get rid of that first. We want to get public schools because it also offers a assimilation bonus, so at level 5 it's an extra what, 50-60% assimilation. It's massive, boy. We got some assimilation as it is, like if we go to our cultures, we got 37 million Russians, and pretty much everybody's losing around 1%, I guess, every year. I don't know, it's definitely going up there. We're getting a lot of people converting to Russian, that's for sure. Oh man, they gave up. What? Damn. Okay, well, it looks like Germany is yet to form, boys. In the most recent update, I'll be honest with you, Germany's a lot harder to form, and for the AI, it's close to freaking impossible sometimes. I'm sorry, what? We have a Ludite agitator, a Ludite that wants to get industry banned and isolationist. No thank you. No thank you very much. Okay, so we failed freedom of consciousness. Let's see if total separation works. We don't get the authority that we would have gotten from freedom of consciousness. Also, our infamy has been going down, 53 only, so we can continue expanding into the Chinese bits now. Wait, what? Obligations. Oh my god, you guys are having a rebellion, aren't you? Okay. Fine. I'll help you out. Again. What would you even do without my support, Prussia? You'd literally be collapsing, wouldn't you, onto yourself? Look at that. I'm literally doing all the freaking heavy lifting here, man. Enemy is in default, all because of me. I'll take the full glory. It's fine. You don't need to say nothing, Prussia. We all know you would have disappeared if it wasn't for my support here. Oh man, these guys are rebelling again. You know what? You do you, Orthodox Church. You do you, and I'm just gonna pass my legislation, okay? Surprisingly, we already are down to the enactment phase of our legislation. I guess a lot of people are tired of the extra strength that the Orthodox Church has right now. Hell yeah, I'm even willing to take 500 bureaucratic hit just to see them get out of my government. What makes them really so dangerous is that they also have the freaking monument in Moscow, which offers the Orthodox Church another 10% political strength alongside the extra prestige that we get here. And hey, we're down to 42% infamy. Yay! Time to expand again, boys. Holy mother of God, I just realized, me with all of my subjects, we have 733 battalions altogether. What? That seems like way more than we ever gonna need here. The Wafflin Revolutionary, bro, what? The Wafflin Rev. Who wrote this event? I need to talk to that person right now. Huzzah! Total separationos. Okay, cool. So now let's go and pass the proper legislation that we wanted to pass all along. Public schools, which we don't have enough support for. Hold up a sec. Okay, looks like we're gonna have to reform a little bit again. It's gonna suck, but it do be like that, unfortunately. Actually, no. Up to 55%. Not bad. And we have a little bit of support for public schools. Maybe we can pass something else beforehand. How about the census suffrage, universal suffrage? Not a fringant chance. How far away am I actually from my next technology here? Steel frame buildings, that is going to be an actual game changer. We're going to be ramping up construction a lot faster afterwards. So gotta start building some extra glass factories and steel mills to get ready for when we change this particular production method. After multiple failed expeditions, like pretty much all of the ones that we did in the Congo, we have our first successful one in the Niger area. We got 25% prestige increase for 5 years, and we get the Explorer trait for Grigory Ignatiev, which means we get more opportunities on expeditions, extra popularity, and prestige as leader. So that's pretty decent, actually. I'm gonna do another expedition in that case. Let's say Source of the Nile, since we don't want to be going down into the Congo areas again. Unfortunately, I did fail my move towards public education, but I'm gonna try and go for colonial exploitation to make up for it, then exploit some natives until we're ready to have proper public education, maybe. Nobody expects the Russian invasion in Zanzibar, do they? But to be fair, Zanzibar, alongside the entrance here into the South African bits, Arabia, Bahrain, Yemen, and South America are just absolute no-brainers when it comes down to it. Did they just form Argentina? Hell yeah, baby! And they've been expanding as well. I am loving it. They're all, by the way, one click away from getting annexed. So, yeah. They're all my puppets. Every single one of these bad boys is my puppet here. I kind of feel like I made a mistake in making protectorates out of like Nej, Oman, and so on, because this wasn't too much infamy in the first place, right? I should have just directly conquered this. But I mean, it's fine. They still have to pay me money end of the day, so I'm getting a lot of money from all of these puppets and the minions and etc, etc, etc. The best part is we're essentially just preparing them to be a part of us eventually, right? There you go. 5 infamy for this is a no thing, boys. It is actually no thing. Can we lower the when is my truce with these guys? 3 years. All right, almost there. Hey, they backed down. Not surprised. Not freaking surprised. I would back down too in their shoes, honestly. How are we doing here? Let's see. 78. We can still do a couple of the small ones in Africa, I'd say, for now. I also want to do them now because as we progress in the campaign, it's going to be a lot more infamy later down the line to puppet everybody here. I'm gonna also ramp up my coal mine production. We don't have that many coal mines. We only have 303 and 251 iron ones, so you do not want to stop building stuff in this game at all, ever. And we've identified our skyscraper location in our capital, I'm guessing. No, we actually did in Moscow. Fair enough. Moscow is not the capital. Ingria still is, namely the St. Petersburg, the old capital of the Russian Empire, right? I wish we still had the exploit that we had before with skyscrapers, where you can actually stack up skyscrapers in one province. You could have like 1,000 freaking skyscrapers if you wanted to. Basically infinite amounts of bureaucracy as consequence. We also got level 5 police, so that means we can do this particular mission here. Minus 25% radicals from standard of living decrease, or servicemen, pops, and Ingray become more loyalist. Problem is, this is just restricted to St. Petersburg, aka our capital, which kind of sucks PP, but it is what it is. Wish it was a countrywide modifier. That would have made this a lot more interesting. Finally, we can colonize. Let's start with all the provinces we can do in Africa and Papua New Guinea, apparently, in all these lands. I never knew we could even do that, but sure, we'll go for it, of course. Someone has to, right? Someone's got to take all these little juicy islands here. I can just click this, to be fair. Oh, wow. We actually have a lot of support for restricting child labor. That's really great. The trade unions and the industrialists, I am not surprised. This is going to let us get up to level 4 when it comes to our education, and it lowers the mortality for farmers, laborers, machinists, and all of that. Touching the skies for 5 years, a lot of extra prestige. How close are we to number 1 prestige-wise? Because that's what really matters for ranking, apparently. We're really close, actually. We might even dethrone the British pretty soon. One of the, by far, best legislation, or better yet, technologies to get mutual funds unlocks extra interest rate reduction, minting plus 10% as well. And the best part is that we can change our production method to publicly traded for most of our buildings. So over here, going from privately owned to publicly traded increases the amount of capitalists that we have. And remember, capitalists give 20% dividends to the investment pool, which in the long run means we're going to make absolutely massive massive amounts of money. As a consequence, we're getting significantly more money to our investment pool that we can use to reinvest in the country, of course. Also, massively underrated technology, if you ask me. Even more better news, because now we can advance this to level 5 or level 4 whenever we get the extra bureaucracy back. We lost a little bit of bureaucracy, so actually let's build up a few more, not universities, government administration buildings. Let's also go with attempt number 3 at getting right of assembly. This is the one. I feel it, boys. This is the one. Oh, golden opportunity. The Indians are trying to break free from the... Well, actually, no, there's a military revolt. Never mind. They're not trying to break free. But still golden opportunity, because I might be able to get something from the Brits in return now. Obligations? Maybe. How about transfer subjects? Ionian Islands? I don't care about that. What? I don't want to have Bremen or the... What the hell, man? Aw. Alright, I'm just gonna go for the obligations. Why not? Screw it. I was so excited. I was hoping that I'd get like Australia or something transferred in return, but nope. Ionian freaking Islands. China sided with the Brits. What? Didn't the Brits side against China when the Austrians took Taiwan from them? Brother, you are not... You need to get your priorities straight, China. Wait, what? Russian infamy decreases by 10? Oh, please accept, Britain. Please accept. Please accept. Please accept. I need the infamy down, bro. Hey, they did accept. We're back to 61. We can attack somebody else here. Oh, actually, we can attack Afghanistan now. It's only like 14, if I'm not mistaken, infamy. I think it's also time that we change more of our construction sectors here to the steel frame buildings. There you go. You go as well, Ural, to the steel frame. Thank you very much. All right, Britain, finish your work quickly. I'll help you out a little bit here so you can finish, because I need to attack more Chinese minor nations in Afghanistan. I don't have time for you schnaps, Britain. Oh, this actually might be the one, guys. We went up to drafting with 19% freaking chance. The Brits started a secession diplomatic play in the UA uprising. Where the hell is that? Is that in China? Wait, did they just start a succession uprising in the country that's helping them out? Am I? No, I think I'm wrong. I think it's in the Heavenly Kingdom, yeah. Okay, it's also time that we actually built up some forts in our isolated colonies so we can bring them a part of the market, right? Otherwise, what's the point of even having these in the first place? Romania wants a trade agreement? Sure. Does that mean we can actually add them to our trade league? I mean, market union, customs union. There you go, we could. All right, awesome. So how much is Romania bringing to the 7 million GDP. I know that they have some good stuff here, like they have silk. Oh, look at that. They actually have quite a few good things. Sulfur as well in here. Oh, yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Ooh, Mongolia peacefully accepting me to reduce their autonomy. I like that. I like to see that. How about you, Transvaal? You want to follow in the footsteps of Mongolia, bro? Yeah, you do? Hell to the yes. Historically, Afghanistan's been called the graveyard of empires, as multiple empires have tried to conquer these people and have not succeeded. I don't want to use the F word. I'm just going to say they have not succeeded. Historically, the Russians and the British were at odds over this entire area. The Russians were afraid that the British will try and control the Asian trade, and that's why there were a lot of fights over this entire area. It's called the Great Game from a historical perspective. This little conflict that the Russian Empire had with the British. Later down the line, when the Russians became the Soviets also invaded Afghanistan, which caused a little bit of an economic uproar in Afghanistan, in the Soviet Union. And then later empires like the United States also invaded Afghanistan, and after 20 years of trying to bring a democratic government, they withdrew. But I don't need to talk about that too much, because I think that's very recent in everybody's memory, and we all know what happened afterwards, don't we? However, we're not going to make the mistakes that historically the Russians did, okay? We're going to crush them, and we're going to crush them real swift. The best part about getting right of assembly is not necessarily the legislation itself, but the fact that you can go for guaranteed liberties right after. We're going to push for this hard, because this means we're going to get 15% loyalists from standard of living increase and 15% radicals reduction from standard of living decrease, massive onto themselves. We start with 9% success chance. Yeah, it's going to be a hard one, that's for sure. Oh, I know what I'm going to do next. I'm going to be integrating Manchuria, because Manchuria's got a lot of iron and coal mines in the same state, and lead mines. Look at that, 75, 60, and 45 mines in southern Manchuria. Is a freaking gold mine onto itself with 9 million population, bro. So this state alone can get up to 50 million GDP by itself if we build it up properly, right? Oh, is that me crushing Afghanis? Yes, it is, sir. Hold up a second. Why do the Afghanis have... Wait, well, hold on a second. Those are my troops with... Okay, and that makes sense. There's a flag next to it as well. That makes a lot of sense. So then the Afghanis have Chinese Chinese or Vietnamese hats. That makes no sense. That actually makes 0 sense right there. Yep, they need, oh, okay, they have a turban. That guy's got a turban. The turban makes sense. The Vietnamese rice hat makes no sense though still. We even helped them pass better legislation apparently, boys. So we're technically the good guys, right? That's what it means. After a few unsuccessful attempts, we did manage to eventually map the Congo River. As such, we got some more prestige, and as such, we are now the greatest power since we have more prestige than the British have. We got 4.4 thousand, they got 3.7, and we also have more than double the GDP that they have for that matter, and the population. If we were to count all of our subjects, we probably have like 400 million population by now. The difference between us and the rest of the world when it comes to production is absolutely astonishing. Look at this, for example, right? We go to goods and we say, look at the one that we have the least of, right? This is the one that we still need 4,000 more of this we need, right? But we're the world's greatest producer. We're producing 30,000 tools and we're still 20,000 above the second producer, which is the Brits. And it's the same with pretty much every single good. Look at steel. We're producing 28,000. The second after us, the Brits are producing 7,000 only. Or I don't know, coal. Coal, we are doing 39,000. Second after us, the Brits with 12,000. Every single good is like this. It's absolutely freaking mind-blowing. If we were to actually integrate all of our subjects now and get all of this stuff, we would be literally around 1 billion GDP after we've incorporated everything around here, right? Our biggest bane though is hands down infamy. We're up to 80 infamy because I've been lowering autonomy with my subjects. I've also been getting new subjects, and we also just got electrical generation so we can start electrifying our grids and producing a lot more than we're producing right now. Let's also go for vulcanization so we get the elastics for the textile mills. Actually, let's go for this. 5% reduction of bureaucracy is a big freaking deal right now, since that's essentially going to give me an extra 2,000 bureaucracy afterwards. And I'm also going to get investment bank for the extra companies and the urbanization per urban center. This is going to eventually lead us down to the macroeconomics, which gives an extra 5% mappy, and the zeppelins with another 5% mappy as well. We're trying to push for certain agendas here, of course. Corporatism, not bad. In accepted cultures, we get radicalism decreased from standard of living. 130 total innovation is a big difference compared to what we started with, isn't it? Oh, we just discovered oil rigs in... Well, not oil rigs. We discovered oil, better yet, in Samara. Pretty juicy right there, boyos. Real juicy. Oh my god, we have 60 oil rigs we can get in perm. Dude, I love this freaking state. This is by far my favorite state out of this entire freaking run right now. Oh yeah, baby. Level 3 guaranteed liberties to start the runoff. That is juicy. That is actually, I'm about to do something no man should ever do. I'm about to click the button of public schools. That's right. We got support for this, boys. We got support for this now. Look at that. Only 12% opposition from the scummy church, but we have 11% endorsement, which is better than 0%, okay? That's a lot better than 0. Trust me on that. And we're gonna try and get up to level 5 with our home affairs, level 4 with education and so on. Maybe we can do a little bit of extra colonization improvement as well. Yeah, I think that might work. The main reason I'm going, of course, for public education is because I really need to lower the strength of the religious schools. The Orthodox Church, they have 30% right now. They're gonna have 40% political strength once we get this education up to level 4, right? So that's the debuff that we're getting from that. Is they're not happy with us also. They're really not happy with us right now. None of these guys are happy for that matter. Wait, what? They're not happy because they want me to get elected bureaucrat? What? Brother. So the thing is, I kind of want to, on the one hand, cancel public schools so I can get elected bureaucrats, because I don't necessarily, I'm not against it, right? It's not a bad thing getting elected bureaucrats after all. We need the extra population reduction, bureaucracy reduction from population, right? But the problem is that I got 38% success chance on public schools, man, and I really want to see this pass. So I can do elected bureaucrats after. Can you guys just not rebel for a few years, please? All right, so now when it comes to my electrifying the grids, the power plants, I'm gonna start with the main states in which I have most of my industry. So that means Moscow, Kursk, Saratov, Kiev, Samara, all of these bad boys. We're gonna build up in these, and we're gonna switch to electrical production afterwards. This way we free up a lot of laborers to work and get more goods produced as a consequence. So I'm gonna say get 10 in each of these for now. It's probably gonna be at least 30 in each that I'm gonna require, to be honest, but 10 is better better than nothing. Perm, of course, is a big one too, and Urals. And of course, let's not forget about Transbaikal, my favorite state so far throughout this entire run. Also, because I'm gonna need to change over all of my steel buildings to the electric arc, let's check where my steel production is. So we're gonna have in all of these states here a few extra electric factories, because we're gonna need a few extra more to handle the extra production method when we switch over to the electric arc. And I'm also gonna do one electric factory minimum in every single state, because I'm gonna switch over the urban centers to use up the electrical production method. So that means we're gonna need at least one in every state to be able to do it all around our entire country, right? I really hate the fact that there's so many awesome companies, and it's really hard for me to decide which one I want to go for. Like, I want to get this one as well for the bonuses here, but not as much as I want to get this one. 20% throughput for the textile mills, as well as radicals from standard of living decreased by 10%. Company construction costs for the textile mills. But then we also have this, right? For the furniture and the glass works, 20% throughput, and the loyalists from standard of living increase. What the hell, man? And then we also have this one here. Steel mills, coal mines, and iron mines get throughput bonus, as well as railway building throughput and approval from the industrialists. Obviously, we're going to go for that one. That is by far the most insane one, the New Russia Company Ltd. But just saying, there's so many awesome ones. It's really hard to choose from, honestly. That's why the more companies you can have, the better in this game, in my opinion. All right, we got the Suez survey now. Let's do this quickly. And that means we will get the decision to acquire land in the Sinai, or you can just force them to give us the land. You know what I'm saying? We get a claim on Sinai and just attack them for it. Let's try and acquire it peacefully, though. If that doesn't work, then what I'm gonna do? Oh wait, I forgot I need the relations with them. Oh, what's my relations like? Antagonist. Oh, you know what? It's fine. I'm just gonna attack them. I'm gonna take Sinai, and I'm gonna take the Holy Lands whilst I'm at it, right? Or at the least, I'm gonna liberate the Holy Lands. Let's see. Reform at gunpoint. So we have the option of enabling or enacting elected bureaucrats in the bureaucracy law, and we get 5% pops in Russia become more loyal. We can do the same thing, but you also get some interest group political strength and approval for the industrialist. Okay, less loyalist. No, I'm gonna go for the more loyalist. All right, fuck it. There you go. We did that. That means that we have no more bureaucratic issues, and we don't have any more a rebellion. Plus, we went from 25 million radicals to 13 million, so that's a considerable change. The issue is that we do have unrealized taxes now. Not too many, 90,000, but still, it is an issue, so we're gonna need to work on that as consequence now. Before, we didn't have any unrealized taxes because of the appointed bureaucrats to keep in by comparison, right? We're down to 70. That is amazing. We can do the war for Sinai then. I'm also gonna make them liberate every country that is able to get liberated, because I can. I'm a bully. That's right. I'm a freaking bully here. And we discovered more oil around the Azerbaijan areas. Amazing. We don't have any population though. That sucks balls. Oh yeah, that really sucks balls. Let's get a few in, and we'll figure out what we're gonna do about the pops afterwards. Maybe we can do transport, so that's gonna free up some population. There you go. Maybe here as well, or actually where we can do it. No, we don't really have anything we can do we? Kind of poo-poo when you don't have pops at all in a province, and you have a really good trade good you want to get there. Where the hell did everybody go here, man? 300,000. What are you people? They are fearful, even though the French decided to support them, so they might give up, because my only primary goal is Sinai. If they don't give up, then they're gonna have to lose a lot more lands when they're gonna be fighting me, and boy, are they gonna be fighting me, and I'll be crushing the schnapps out of them, boyos. The schnapps out of them. Hey, we got public schools. Hella freaking Luya. 50% assimilation with level 4. I love public schools so much. Doo-doo. Okay, let's check out what the assimilation looks like now. So give it a couple of months to start, and let's see. We're getting 10,000 people converting to Russian per month. Oh my god. Oh my actual god. That is genuinely insane, man. And we're gonna have to fight the Egyptians. That's fine. Nobody cares. Egypt's gonna be a schnappeldoop right now. Let's do it. Oh, interesting. France is actually trying to do a naval landing in my capital. I might be stretching myself a little bit thin here, but I'm gonna help out Xinjiang or whatever they're called. Let's say get a war goal in here. Liberate country? Why not? Liberate California. Screw it. I'm doing this, helping them out, because I don't want the Americans to establish themselves in the Chinese bits. If they take Xinjiang, then they're gonna be right next to me, and I'm not cool with that. Now the Americans are fearful because I joined in on the Henvili Kingdom side. I love tricking the AI. So I was telling the AI that I'm going to be navally invading here. So they started bringing units there to defend. And then midway towards going there, I canceled. And now I'm doing an invasion in Morocco. And then I'm going to do another one in the north of France. So I can get them out of this freaking war now. I'm also pushing a little bit for the human rights technology, as this is going to allow me to unlock afterwards compulsory primary education, which means I can max out my education system. And that means I'm going to have a lot more literate people in my country. Oh, French just gave up. All right, that's awesome. Let's get this invasion force and go over to California in that case, so we can start liberating the new world from the vile slave empire that is the United States, because they still have slavery. Look at this, freaking 1894, and they have yet to ban this. They have legacy slavery. Oh wait, actually that's the one they have in 2023 as well, right? Am I wrong about that?
Ludi, very funny, bro. Not gonna be so funny when we send the CIA after you.
Excuse me, what the fuck is going on here? How are you guys attacking my puppet? My puppet, bro. What the hell is this? Get your hands away from my puppet. US is in default. Okay, my puppet is now apparently at war with the Swedes, which have all of freaking Scandinavia. Right, that is not good right there. And I cannot enforce a peace or anything like that. If they take my puppet, I'm gonna be really freaking pissed. Proposed by the Heavenly Kingdom, liberate California. And the Americans are gonna accept this? Actually, no shot. No freaking shot. 1.1 million GDP and 1 million population. I can probably puppet this, can't I? 100% I can puppet this. Oh shit, I almost forgot about the war in Egypt. The one I started it all with. Oh my god, I just saw something. The French got a little bit of Sinai here. Are you shitting me right now? I am so mad right now. It's beyond. Bro, what? What the fuck, man? Also, Scandinavia, you suck bowls, and I'm gonna be freaking attacking you right now. Screw you, bro. First, I'm gonna be integrating the Finns, and then after we integrate the Finns, I'm gonna liberate the Finns and puppet them, because this is so dumb. Like, this is the dumbest. I don't even know why this was able to happen, right? It makes no sense that this actually freaking happened right now. This must be a bug or just a really stupid feature if it's not a bug. How come they're allowed to attack a puppet of mine without me getting called into that war? Okay, I also got 0% success chance for the census suffrage, so I just switched over to compulsory schools, which starts with 58% success chance, so big freaking difference there. We've got a lot of puppets around the world. I mean, we've got in Africa, we got most of South America, we got pretty much all of Asia with the exception of India and Persia and so on. We also have a pretty decent technology situation. We're still working on it, a lot better than what we started with. Once we have conveyor belts and electric arc processes, our economy is quite literally going to double, because right now we are in the process of electrifying our entire country. We're going full on electric grid. Politic wise, we are doing so. I have some laws I need to change around, like I need to get proportional taxation, because I need to start getting the dividends tax rate. Right now, not having the dividends tax rate is killing me. I'm losing out on a lot of money because of it, but it do be like that sometimes. Another major issue is that I don't really have that much rubber and oil. Oil is not a big deal because I'm working on it. I'm starting to get my own oil rigs all around the country because we discovered a lot of oil in the Russian bits, but rubber is an issue. So now there's a lot of potential for rubber in my colonies, or better yet, puppets. So I'm going to be integrating these puppets that I have that would potentially allow me to build these rubber plantations. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to annex these guys first and start pumping out as many rubber plantations as we can over here. Foreign policies, well, the Austrians have done what the Germans couldn't do, so that's pretty pepega. We're not seeing Germany today. We might see Austria-Hungary form Super Germany, which I'm not totally against. I mean, as long as I see Germany on the map, I'm happy with it, I guess, right? That being said, we do have San Marco for some reason here, and they're not a part of Italy, so there's that going on there. Tripoli is free, and I really mean free. They have a defensive pact with the Egyptians and with San Marco, and they are in San Marco's customs union, so I'm going to be making them a puppet. I'm also going to be making the Egyptians a puppet when the truce is over. I need to do a war with the French, because in the last war against Egypt, the Egyptians cucked me by giving treaty port to the French in Sinai, the province for which I declared my war. So essentially, even though I won the war, I kind of lost it because I didn't get what I wanted to get, right? I actually have pretty good relations with the French, but I really need to take that treaty port. So I'm going to have to start lowering the relations. We have 60 amicable. Bro, that is going to be a massive issue to handle then. Oh, fingers crossed we managed to lower the relations a little bit quicker. We also need to start getting some automobiles production going. So I'm going to change one of my motor industries here to produce automobiles. We have the one in Saratov doing so already, but I feel like we need to get more of those. And actually, we need to get in general more motor industries. So I'm going to start building up another 51 factories somewhere where we have a lot of population. Speaking of population, despite having a lot of population at the start of the campaign, we're actually on the minus. I mean, we're not on the minus, but we're kind of struggling with population now. It's not so easy fighting states that have 100,000+ pops anymore. Oh, there you go. Smolensk has. So let's get 51 motor industries in Smolensk then. And let's send our brave soldiers to wipe out the Gazans. Now, I have to say that I need to redo my army composition because it's freaking 1890s. This is not a good one for 1890s. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get, say, a good 15 more artillery pieces and another 20 infantry. Lancers, I can say get another 10 of them. That should be enough for now. So the thing is, guys, when you have your army composition, the main force should be your infantry. Obviously, you should have more infantry than you have artillery and cavalry combined. But then you need to realize that cavalry might not be so bad, but the problem is that they are very expensive to upkeep. So the upkeep for cavalry is 2 iron, grain, and 2 small arms, whilst the upkeep for artillery is significantly less. It's just artillery for now. We're going to upgrade to shrapnel artillery soon, and that's going to double the values. And when we do upgrade to shrapnel artillery, it kind of makes the cavalry useless. So we might downgrade to just 10 lancers until we upgrade these bad boys to light tanks again, which makes them useful again, but that's very later down the line. We haven't really been focusing on our military too much in this campaign because we're pretty strong as it is, and we just have been throwing bodies at our enemies more than anything else. But we will start researching technology stuff because a lot of nations have started switching to trench infantry now. I think the French have trench. Let me just double check on that. So they have shrapnel artillery. Yes, I'm assuming French as well. 6th French army. Let's see what this is like. No, they don't actually. They still have skirmishers. Okay, so they have skirmishers and shrapnel. That's not too bad. They don't have a good army composition too, which means that they're going to get organization debuffs from having too many artillery and cavalry compared to the amount of infantry that they have. Electricity is an issue though, boys, so I think I'm going to have to manually be going around every single one of my bigger states and switching production methods to the best production method that I have, which in turn allows me to get more efficiency from my production methods, or better yet from my factories or whatever. Look at this, for example. We have 20 power plants in Perm, but that might be a little bit of an overkill. I think we built a little bit too many. I was expecting Perm to need a lot more electricity than it has. It's fine though. Eventually we'll make this work. We will make sure that we have a little bit of migrants going into Perm as well. Since Perm is one of our main states here, we even have 60 oil rigs possible in Perm. So we're going to queue up another, say, 8 for now. And as we increase the demand of oil, we're going to increase the production of oil as well at the same time. Oh, we discovered oil in Saratov also. Holy mother, bro. Like, we have oil everywhere in our country. It's insane. Look at this. We scroll down over here. We have oil rigs in half the country discovered already. Half the literal country, man. Okay, let's see what my infamy is at. 73. Not so bad. Not so bad. We have a pretty decent DK for infamy. So after we integrate Gaza and Ecuador, we need to integrate these two for the rubber, right? As I said earlier. After we integrate these two, we're gonna stop with our expansion for a tiny little bit of time, I guess. Oh, we managed to get stable power supply. We're gonna go for the 6K progress on steam turbines. How close are we to getting those actually now? We are halfway there, give or take. We could change to coal fire plants for power plants, and eventually we can lead down to oil turbines. That would be pretty good too. Yeah, let's go ahead and queue up all of the electric stuff so we have all the production methods available for when we do the full switch on over to electrical grid, which is actually happening as we speak, of course. For example, take out the city in Saratov here, right? We need 2.3K electricity. It's extremely expensive massive, which means we have a reduction in our steel mills production, but we have 30 power plants. So eventually we will produce enough so we don't have that shortage anymore. That's why I queued up 30 power plants before I switched on over to the electric arc process in this particular state. All the states where I have 51 steel mills, I also built 30 electrical power plants to get ready for the switch over to the electrical production. All right, now they got this, so let's queue up 12 of these bad boys. Hey, we got compulsory primary education. Hell yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and do this next. Buyashnoki donks, level 5 educationos, 62% assimilation. Hot diggity dong. Let's see what we can change here as well now. Proportional taxation, there's basically no support for that right now, unfortunately. We're gonna try and go for the free speech here, so we get the extra 25% technology spread, and then afterwards, we're gonna try and go towards some more liberal government principles. We're gonna try and go for parliamentary republic or presidential republic. Oh my god, 25% prestige for the next 5 years. Holy snaps. We went up now to 4,600 prestige. That's gonna keep us on first place for a while, isn't it? We've also decided not to have any wars for the foreseeable future, fix our economy, improve our economy, and we need to wait for our trench infantry. We are really far behind with trench units, so we're gonna need to queue these bad boys up actually. Telegraph and then trench works, because I'm not happy with most of the big boys actually getting trench infantry before me. I shouldn't have neglected my military part of the country as much as I did, right? I guess I have to blame the fact that I've mostly been fighting against, you know, primitives, didn't really have an actual fight with the big boys, and as such I kind of just ignored the whole military bit, as I was just throwing bodies continuously left and right. With our newly established rubber plantations, we also get now 33% extra rubber plantation throughput for 5 years from the rubber boom that we just got. Breeding and education, okay. Well, I think I'm gonna go for the interest group approval for the gentry reduction. Don't care about their approval much at all, to be fair. Oh, what? The French want to transfer French Sinai, the one I want, the one I'm reducing my relations with them for, in exchange for Hero land. Where the frack is that? Okay, let's see where that is. It's here. Hero land. Is that this one? Just 7,000 population, 0 GDP? Hell yeah, I'm giving you that, bro. Of course. Oh my god, we got all of Sinai. We don't need to damage our relations with them anymore, and we can use them in the wars against the Austrians that we're gonna have eventually. Oh my god, that means we can also build the Sinai, can we not? The Suez Canal. Boy. Yes, we can. Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's what good cooperation between friends is really all about, okay? Let's see how much of a difference the protected speech is gonna make now. Let's go over here, and we have technology spread at around 80 freaking 7, bro. What? Yeah, that does make a bit of a difference, doesn't it? Yep, it sure does make a little bit of a difference, that's for sure. Let's go ahead and also become a presidential republic now, so we go down the full democratic path, of course. We are, after all, one of the most democratic nations around the world, right? Other nations like the British and so on would only hope to be as free and enlightened as we are right now. Speaking of, they seem to be stagnating, and stagnating big time. We're also quickly catching up with the rubber production. We're the world's 3rd leading producer of rubber after the Brits and their colony, apparently, British Congo. So this is right now the only good that we are not leading by a huge amount compared to everybody else. Also need to pay more attention and start queuing up more stuff, because I'm building shit super fast. And I need to have a longer queue. Alright, queue up is maximum. Let's finally annex Manchuria, because I've said I'm gonna annex them for a while now. I kind of forgot twice to annex them, to be honest. But hey, now we have 50 infamy, so it's okay to annex them, I guess. Wait, what? They went up to 44 units? Did they just instantly recruit 16 units from conscripts? I think that's what happened, isn't it? Now, obviously, the reason we want to do this, integrate them, is because these are some of the best states around. South Manchuria, for example, is coal, iron, lead, logging camps, silk, and 9 million population. So this would be essentially a secondary Beijing, like the one I got earlier on in the campaign. Oh, we also have lead mines. My bad. Even better, because that means we can make this an absolute industrial powerhouse of a state once we get it. So we should have probably annexed this like 50 years ago. ago. I don't know why I didn't do it. I sometimes, because like, you know, I don't 100% focus on the game. I forget things. Then I remind myself about things and I remember. Then I forget again when I think like, oh, I should puppet that random nation in the middle of Africa because it looks nice to have. And then, yeah, that's basically the story of this entire playthrough, really. Obviously, the first step is to just integrate all of these newly conquered provinces. Look at that, 2,000 bureaucracy to incorporate South Manchuria. Holy mother of God. Worth it, though. It's 100% worth it. Now, look at what I'm going to do with this state, right? So, I'm going to start queuing up a lot of mines first and foremost. Let's say go for 51 iron mines, another 51 coal mines, some lead mines as well. It does have the population to support all the way up to 45 lead mines. We're going to need a lot of railway transport as well, so let's queue up 20 railway transport. And now because we have iron mines, coal mines, lead mines, logging camps, and all that schnaps, we can queue up the basic stuff. So we can start with some tooling workshops, 50 of these bad boys, followed up by some steel mills, because steel essentially requires tools, coal, iron, which we have right over here, of course. So we're going to queue up 51 of these bad boys. And let's not forget also the motor industries, another 51 of these bad boys. Now I'm kind of thinking maybe I don't have enough population because I've queued up a lot of schnaps, but fingers crossed I do have enough population. Okay, having lead also means that we can queue up some glass works, which intakes lead and dye. So we could say queue up 51 glass works and then another 51 synthetic plants. Probably not gonna need that many though, so let's just queue up 21 synthetic plants for now. Let's leave it like this. I feel like this would be a model state from which all the other states can take a little bit of reference from, if I may say so. We're gonna queue up more stuff, but this is just the initial stuff that we want to have in the state for now. Something very similar in northern Manchuria, but at a smaller scale and without the glass work, because we don't have the lead production in here, and there's less production of iron and coal, plus significantly less population, only 3.4 million. So we're gonna say do the same like the other one, but 20% of what's in the other one. And notice how I haven't done the electrical bits just yet. I'm gonna queue up 20 electrical power plants for now. I will eventually need to switch all of this to electrical, so I'm gonna need probably like 50 power plants overall. The difference in northern Manchuria though is that we have up to 34 logging camps, so northern Manchuria actually is probably a really good candidate for construction sectors, which I haven't been building in a really long time. Yeah, we have to increase the amount of construction sectors too. We have kind of not built any for a really long time, which is actually an issue. So let's queue up, say I don't know, 25 in southern Manchuria, since we have so much population there, right? I know if I was really try-harding and so on, by this point in the campaign I should have 20,000 construction sectors, not 2,000. But I'm also just trying to chill at the same time, you know, and have fun. Not super sweatiness, hardly schnagadoobsy. If you want to see a super sweaty run, my Ching run is the one that I'm really sweating in right there. You'll see. I'm making one exception, and I am at war with Sichuan, since Sichuan has really important stuff here. They've got sulfur mines. I'm really lacking in sulfur. I need to get these sulfur mines and upgrade them to maximum. The sooner the better. Plus they also have a lot of opium that I need as well. So opium and sulfur is literally the reasons why I'm annexing this particular puppet. Okay, let's see how much it's gonna cost. Oh my god, dude, 3,000 to incorporate this. I mean, it's got to be done though. It's got to be done. This actually pisses the shit out of me. We have a Manchu uprising, but the uprising includes the lands that have been a part of our country since the start of the freaking campaign, man. Why the hell did these areas rebel? I mean, it's not like these Manchus had any freaking issues before this, bro. What the hell, man? I know that they're Manchu homelands and shit, but they've been ours for hundreds of years. No reason for this to rebel. This is so stupid. Oh, did we just change our flag to modern Russian flag? Hot damn. Are we modern Russia, boys? All right, that's it. Time to rig the elections. Oh, who said that? That would never happen in our country. You know, I was talking about this on my latest stream about how in my country, Romania, a very interesting thing was happening. I'm not sure if it still happens today, but when I was growing up, dead people used to vote. That's right. People that were dead apparently voted for the people that won the elections. It's a mystery. Nobody knows. Clearly, there's some necromancy involved there, right? But I heard it's common all over Eastern Europe, not just in my country. All right, there you go. Back into the fold. Yes, scumbags. Now we gotta incorporate these two areas again, which is really mega annoying, to be honest. We lost a lot of progress right there. And of course, the freaking AI deleted building. I hate this game sometimes. It's not normal for AI to be able to delete buildings when they rebel, okay? They should be allowed to delete buildings after, if they won the rebellion, in my opinion. Oh man, a world to win. The labor unions want us to concede something. Honestly, I'm kind of thinking to just say, go F yourself. But I'm actually gonna give regulatory bodies in their labor right. Why not? Let's actually be a little bit more of an inclusive society, shall we? I feel like that might help us out in the long run, right? I was also kind of pushed to go for migration control because we had a lot of people demanding it. So because there's so much demand for it, it's going to voting phase instantly. I'm not really cool with migration control, but then again, I don't really care about migrants too much since I have so much population I can just annex from my subjects if I need to have extra population, right? So I don't need to rely on population. So I guess migration control doesn't make too much of a difference as consequence. Ooh, the Americans have ein Revolutionensteiner. Well, I think I'm gonna support the good guys. I'm gonna support some guys here. One of these sides randomly I'm choosing one of these sides to support, just randomly choosing. Actually, you know what, change of plans. Since they're both busy fighting each other, why don't I just go ahead and take that little old schnappledoop Californian lance that I always wanted to have as a Christmas gift, eh? Merry Christmas, everyone. Bro, you guys also have freaking, what the hell is going on in the freaking New World, brother? What the hell, man? Oh, of course the Californians gave up. A lot of big talk in this part of the world, a lot of, oh, we can do this, we can do that, but end of the day, they all be scared of the mighty gulags, okay? That's what it's about, boys. When the Russian come calling, you don't answer, you might end up in the gulag. Just saying, just saying. Of course, poor laws is also getting voted and advancing insanely fast. Anything that gives the people free shit is gonna be passing fast. Stuff that helps the country, it's gonna be an actual freaking struggle, isn't it? No, you freaking scumbag. Oh my god, are you kidding me right now? Namaqualand. What the freaking, where is this? Don't tell me this is one of my rubber plantations. It's got to be one of my rubber plantations. Oh boy. Oh, we're gonna be losing this. 33. Yeah, that's one of my good colonies, isn't it? Yes, it is, man. Oh, this is disgusting, bro. I gotta give it to them. 14 infamy is way too much right now. I'm on the edge here. I've got 77 infamy. That would put me over too much. That sucks balls. That actually sucks balls. I hate that freaking event. That's one of the worst events possible, in my opinion. Gotta say also, I'm seeing a lot of fascist nations appearing all around me. That is a very worrisome trend, in my opinion, you know? Ugh, laws for the poor. Ew. No, but seriously though, this is not as bad as it seems. Sure, we're paying 12,000 in welfare payment, but it's not that bad. 12,000 is nothing in the grand scheme of things. The good part though is that we get political strength when receiving welfare, a reduction for the pops. So getting this up to level 5, or at least just getting it up a little bit more, might not be the worst thing, you know? As long as we can afford it, of course. Also gonna try to get proportional taxation. There's a lot of opposition from my ruling party, but not enough to start a revolution. However, it does mean that we have very low success chance, so it's going to take a little bit of time for us to pass this legislation. It will essentially double our income when we do so, because we get a lot of those dividends taxes that we're not getting right now. This is something you should pass in the 1875, 1880s. So I kind of had a little bit of bad luck. Also, I was kind of watching Shameless on Netflix, and I wasn't really paying attention, to be honest with you as well. But that's aside from the point, okay? Wait, what? Since when is the freaking Ainu Mosir here independent? I'm not complaining. I'm actually going to just go ahead and colonize the schnapps out of that thing. Thank you very much. Holy shit, Transvaal's got 11 gold mines, 104 coal, and 60 iron mines. Oh my god, how did I not freaking see this, man? Dude, these guys are getting so much support. 17 million people backing them up. Well, I would get 17 million more loyalists if I enacted this. Yeah, I'm gonna go for this. I just need them to give me a little bit of time to get proportional taxation. We might fail this though. We had 2 setbacks already, so we're literally on hanging by a thread when it comes to that particular legislation, aren't we? We got so lucky we actually managed to get over to study phase. Come on, man. Fingers crossed. We got this, boys. Please, we got this. Pretty please, we got this. Let's also crest some more separatists. We seem to be getting a massive amount of freaking separatists all around the world here. And I just realized I have way too much support for the industrialists. I need to curb their support a little bit more so I can get them out of the government. Well, I don't want to necessarily get them out of the government, but I need them to share power so we can pass certain legislation that they don't necessarily fancy too much. Like this one, like proportional taxation, right? The industrialists obviously hate proportional taxation because it means that they will be paying dividends tax, and they are the capitalists. Most industrialists are basically the capitalists. So yeah, you know, dude, are you snapping me right now? Crimeans are trying to secede too, brother. Come on, at least, you know, try and secede if you have any sort of a chance of succeeding. seceding. But you're not gonna have any sort of chance here, are you, Crimea? You might as well just Crimea River, hey? Oh my god, voting phase even. We might even get this, boyos. Another little thing that I have some beef with is the fact that whenever there's a revolution happening, it's almost always the same freaking states that are gonna be seceding. So if I was to enact old age pension, I get rebellions in the same areas as if I was to get if I didn't enact it. So the same people would rebel whether I enact it or I don't enact. So what the hell is this about, bro? Make up your freaking mind, population. I mean, look at this. It's literally the industrial heartland of our country that's rebelling, and these are supposedly the peasants. Where is the peasants coming from, man? This is all industry here. I love how I have like 10 separate states with 51 steel factories in them, and I still have a massive demand for it, and it's still ridiculously expensive. Okay, in this case, it's probably because we don't have enough people employed here, isn't it? Yeah. Can you imagine? I almost have 50 railways in southern Manchuria, and I still can build some more. I mean, what the hell, man? Siberian seceding. Where is this? Sakhalin. Oh my god. So Sakhalin's gonna secede, and let me guess, it's gonna take half of the freaking country with them, isn't it? Even the ones that have been a part of the country for 1,000 freaking years. And I know that's an exaggeration. Don't think about it too much. Oh, we're up to 4 million now. GDP. I mean, 4 million income on medium taxation. So that's pretty decent. Man, they really don't want to see proportional taxation passed, do they? I'm also going to do something that I should have done a while back. I'm going to be disbanding all of my soldiers that are in the states where I need more population. So these guys can go back and, you know, be regular pops that I can use for my industry. One of these is in Moscow. I'm lacking population and I need the pop, so I'm going to be disbanding all the units that are basically from Moscow, and as such I'm also going to be recruiting new units from the areas that have extra population like Beijing and so on. So essentially what I'm saying is 90% of my army is going to be from China. That's pretty much how it's going to be right now. And since we are talking about armies, I'm also going to do something else. I'm going to go to mobilization and I'm going to activate extra rations for all the armies, and then luxurious rations even if I don't need it. You know why? Here's why. This is going to increase the upkeep of these units. The upkeep means that these particular trade goods are going to be in higher demand as consequence, and I'm already producing a fuck ton of every single thing here. So me doing this is basically just essentially making my economy require more of these trade goods, and as such the price goes up for this, and I'm actually gaining money by having these activated in all of my army groups. Point in case, opium was significantly lower before me activating that, so now that I've activated it, it's already increased by quite a little bit, and it's going to continue to go up the more units I activate the schnapps for. Oh dude, we were so close. We were in the voting phase, man. Come on. Finally we managed to get trench work, so that's good for two reasons. Now we can actually start attacking other nations again because we have the same tech as them, and second reason is that now we can also do this for the livestock ranches. We can go for the barbed wire fence. Now let's go ahead and upgrade all of our units to trench infantry, and let's also get some more shrapnel for that matter. We should have 100 infantry, 50 or even 75 shrapnel, and 10 to 15 cavalry. I guess for now that would be the most optimal army composition. And we just colonized Sakhalin. Let's make it an incorporated state now. Let's add up 2 more ports for now. I'd say should be enough to get the extra infrastructure that we needed here. Ooh, I need to check something. Let's see. Okay, so it seems like they have actual African sprites. I was wondering if they have like a generic thing or if it's different from every area to every area. So I guess it is a little bit different from area to area. I like to see that. Considering that they added the sprites, you know, like as a free DLC and everything, or a free patch better yet, it's a pretty good thing to see, honestly, because they could have just done a bad job and it could have been like a generic thing. But the fact that they took the extra time to add like different looking units is a pretty unique little schnappledoops. The last monarchist, meaning we lose a lot of pro-monarchy specific ideologies for the gentry assembly, or we don't. It's our choice. But we can also lower their influence, their strength for 5 years. I'm gonna go ahead and lose all of those royalist ideologists. We don't have space for royalists in our country, do we now? No, we don't. Ugh, pension for the elderly. Worst part is that we get workforce ratio -1%, so meh. The pains of becoming a democratic nation, am I right? Wait a second, I just noticed. Once you have trench infantry, you actually see the trenches on the map itself. What? That's awesome, dude. Alright, we're definitely on the right way now. So, we've spent the last few years essentially gobbling up as much plantations, rubber plantations, as we could possibly get, since we need all of those rubber plantations. We're still having a massive deficit of rubber. Let's go ahead and get our next company here. I never knew this one even existed. Suez Canal Company offers trade center and shipyards throughput and a flat 50,000. What? Yeah, I'm not gonna go for that though. This one's interesting. So this offers rubber plantation throughput plus 20%. Ooh, maybe I should go for that. But then this one as well. Kaiping Mining Company, 10% tech spread and throughput for coal mines and railways. Dude, how are these companies? These are actually insane companies right here. Literally insane companies. If I was to make more money, I wager that getting the combined Russian textile company or the home goods combine of Saratov would actually end up giving me more income. But I'm actually gonna go for the rubber one simply because I'm so struggling with my rubber plantations. That extra 20% throughput is gonna come in massive handy for me here, boys. We have 200 freaking rubber plantations and we're like lacking how many? Let's see. We pushed for malaria prevention. We rushed for the African bits, and we of course also borrowed a few African provinces from some other colonial nations that didn't really need them anymore. Okay, they said they don't want them anymore, so we were nice enough to hand them over to ourselves, you know. That being said, our standard of living as such is pretty decent too, a 15.8 and rising now, but I have a few issues. Mainly, I am getting a lot of support for Council Republic. I mean, a lot of support for Council Republic, and I'm even getting agitators and everything, so we might be forced to go Soviet, guys. I don't want to. Trust me, I don't, okay? This is not my choice here. This is just me kind of not having a choice or having to go to war. Let's see how it ends up. I'll try to delay it for as long as possible, but the labor unions seem to have a little bit of sway in my land. And of course, not a day goes by without Beijing requiring even more railways. I mean, I might as well just queue up, what, 5 more, I guess? We're almost using up all of the population here, which is insane. We have a ton of pops and we're almost using all of them. We have 60 power plants, which are not even at full capacity. We are slowly switching over all of our buildings to use up that electricity though. And look at that, exactly what I was saying in the early part of the campaign. Getting the Middle Eastern provinces is going to help out in the later bit, because we are building 14 oil rigs in Oman alone and another 20 more in Yemen. Holy shit, that's a lot of oil right here. Okay, we got a little bit of an extra queue now, so we don't need to worry about not building buildings at any point in time. And I'm going to continue to try and improve my standard of living more whilst I chill for a bit more. I need to wait till my infamy is a little bit lower so I can start continuing expanding into Africa. Might need to do a couple of wars against what's left of the natives around there, or even have to attack Portugal, since Portugal has a big chunk that's basically dividing my northern and my southern provinces in Southeast Africa, right? Oh boy. Call for women's suffrage. So we have pretty much everybody opposing this, including our strongest interest group, the industrialists, are opposing this, but we have some support for this from the trade unions, which are in our government right now. Holy shit, look how fast we're going, man. Literally 20 something days to get one province in Africa. That is ridiculous. Obviously this is because we got rid of the malaria debuff from the getting the technology, right? Now what's going on here? There seems to be a little bit of a war in this particular part of the world. England against who? England against Nagpur. Oh shit, okay, I don't care about that area. Oh, Peru, Bolivia, how bold of you. You get it? You get it? Bold of you? Literally explains why I have no friends, doesn't it? And now we got a freaking agitator for workers' protection. Oh man. 10 million loyalists if we enact this, bro. That seems like bait right there, like actual freaking bait. Same for the Council Republic. 10 million loyalists if we enact that. No. I'm good for now if I can hold it off. I feel like they should add some sort of synthetic rubber technology that you can, in the later part of the campaign, build rubber somehow, because the lack of rubber is so freaking insane. It's just, I hate it, man. I hate how much rubber is in demand in the late part of the campaign, and there's like literally none of it anywhere. Wait a second. Did we just get a freaking, when did we just get a freaking trade unions guy in charge? suffrage. Pretty sure we had an industrialist. This explains why we have so much support for feminism and for women's suffrage and for union. Maybe we could technically pass Council Republic then. Oh, snaps! Our colonies merged all the way from West to East Africa, yo! That's so cool. We have an actual connection now. Time to also bring enlightenment to yet another Ethiopian land. Let's see, are they gonna back down or are they gonna let us ravage their lands? What's it gonna be, Hobio? Or sorry, Kafa? Are you gonna be coughing up the lands? Ha! Oh, yeah, look at this, guys. Look at that. We actually have trench units, and the artillery also changed because it is shrapnel artillery, right? So it literally looks like the shrapnel artillery. So when I change to the other one, it's gonna look like the other one. That is so freaking awesome, man. Well, they braved it out and they decided to fight me, but that was clearly a mistake. Okay, I think we can also attempt to get women's suffrage here. So we start with 51% success chance. This is a guarantee almost to pass then. Whoa, whoa, whoa there, buddy. California's got a better standard of living than my entire country. I don't think I'm cool with that, okay? I think that might need some changing right there. But before we do that, we're gonna be annexing Afghanistan, so we pump them up full of opium plantations. I was spot on with the women's suffrage. Look at that. We went to study after just one tick. We didn't even have any sort of a debate there. And hey, look at that, boys. We went up to 1 billionium. GDP is finally, you know, in the release version of Victoria 3, we could get a billion in 1870s as the Russians. Things have gotten a lot more nerfed though since then, but I think if we min-max the shit out of it, we can probably still get by 1880, 1879 as Qing maybe, or as the French if we do a lot of expansion early on. Probably the French even easier in my opinion. Hey, finally we discovered oil in Nijd as expected. Now let's pump these bad boys full of oil. Hopefully we get some immigrants here to work these oil rigs now. You guys still fighting with your turbines? I guess they are. Your boys don't have the awesome technology that we have of, you know, sitting inside mud trenches, huh? Peak technology right there, peak. Thank Schnitzeldorf, we have an extra 15% workforce ratio now and 33% dependent enfranchisement, which means we're definitely on our way towards a more equal and modern society, as I like to say. That being said, we might as well go for Council Republic, right? I don't know. I've been really struggling if I should go Soviet or not. I haven't had a run in which I stayed as an actual democracy, right? With the Russian flag and everything. I wish I was doing this live so you guys could tell me your opinions about it. Oh, we can bring the peasants as well into this government. Awesome. So we have the Anarchist Society of Intelligentsia and Rural Folk, and we have the trade unions of the Menshevik Party. Oh, we have the All-Russian Fascist Party as well. Okay. We need to make sure those guys stay away from our government, don't we? Oh my god, now there's 47% support for this and 41 against it. Oh, boys. I'm also trying to lower the influence of the industrialists still, because they were basically in charge of my country for a very long time, right? So it's not that easy to completely oust them from my government. Now, we're also 7th in the world when it comes to our standard of living. The Belgians having the greatest standard of living. That is actually surprising. The Swiss right above us. Why is it that in every single one of my campaigns, the Swiss are literally one ahead of... When I did my Romania campaign, the Swiss were the ones I was trying to beat the whole campaign. I did eventually though, so keep that in mind. Oh no, I'm wrong. We can actually get more silk plantations here. Let's max the shit out of this then. Fuck it, man. Another 62 silk plantations should be more than enough to fill our demands, right? One thing I'm always going to be needing though is engines. And no matter how many freaking engines I build, I still have massive shortages of engines everywhere. It's insane, man. There you go. Another 102 engine factories. Maybe is going to be enough, or maybe I should build another 51 here somewhere. Yeah, screw it. Let's build another 51 in Brest. Now, these lands need to be properly incorporated. That means we're going to be on the minus with our bureaucracy, so we need to build more bureaucratic buildings now, or we can switch more of these to telephones, but I'm not sure how many I have on the market right now. Yeah, I think I have a little bit of a shortage of telephones, so let's just build a few regular ones here. Wait a second. Only 16 infamy to get the sick Greek Empire. Hails to the I'm getting that, boys. What? Britain is so scared of me at this point that they are not even close to freaking trying to join in against us. Right, they view us as conciliatory. That's what exactly a bunch of wussies would say if you ask me. So weird to see that San Marco has not yet been conquered by the Italians. Like, this is 6 million population and 26 million GDP that they're missing out on, bro. How much GDP? Italy has less freaking GDP than San Marco does. What? How? Ooh, we are fighting the trench units. Yeah, they having the Trenchensteiners. Yeah. Looks to me like we need to advance our units and we need to get the ultimate Chad Lords, the mechanized Chads. So we're going to be pushing for that next, I guess. Well, I kind of want to finish first my production tech. After the production tech, we're going to rush for the military stuff, I guess. Another day, another rebellion that's going to fail to defeat us. Also, guys, I want to show you something. So the upgraded version of the ironclads is the dreadnoughts, right? But here's a problem. The ironclads cannot be upgraded to dreadnoughts as the unit type is extremely different. So what we need to do is we need to delete all of our ironclads and we need to build some actual freaking dreadnoughts. And same thing goes for the torpedo boats. They cannot be upgraded to the scout cruisers as they are very different. So we have to delete these as well and build some scout cruisers in exchange. Holy shit, Afghanistan had so many coal mines. Jesus Christ, that is disgusting. Look at that. Look at that, guys. 100% support for electing Council Republic from the get-go. So that means this is gonna pass in 3 ticks. Oh man, do we really want to go commie, dude? Okay, screw it. We'll do it. Take note, we lost most of our interests because we essentially disbanded all of our fleet. So until we recruit those ships back, we got no interest around the world. Bro, I literally just got back to 1 million positive income. If we do pass Council Republic, the first thing that's gonna happen is my economy is gonna tank and I'm gonna have to redo my economy. It's gonna be a freaking pain to do, isn't it? 100% is gonna be a freaking pain. Prestige from naval power projection. Sure, let's go for that. Also take note, we have 62 million loyalists and only 6 million radicals. Again, something that's going to change drastically for sure once we go to Council Republic. Oh my god, they just discovered rubber in North Madagascar. Hallelujah. Skibbity booyah. Where my rubber at? Yo. 16 of them? Hell yeah, baby. Holy cannoli, bro. We literally have 1 billion GDP more than the second great power right after us. That is just ridiculous. And remember, we got almost doubled our GDP the second that we started gunning for the rubber and we changed over to the full electric production methods. That was the thing that changed everything, really. So electricity is the way to go in this game, that's for sure. Also, we seem to be doing pretty good here. 17.5. Did we take over the Swiss? We did, actually. So what? Venezuela's next? You guys seem like you need an overlord, don't you? Oh, they have a defensive alliance with the Brazilians and an alliance with Grenada. Maybe I can attack them both. Let's see. It's not a priority though. It's definitely not a priority right now. I'm sorry, what? We formed the what party now? I don't think these guys should be in our government, okay? I think these guys might be a little bit more dangerous than they look, which is why I'm enacting Council Republic. The duality of the Ludi, guys. Alright, no more shenanigans. Give me your subjects in Africa, Portugal. Give me all your subjects now. It's cheaper to just transfer subject than it is to take lands, apparently. So that's what I'm going for. Portuguese Congo as well. Yeah, sure. Give me both your subjects and give me war reparations whilst you at it as well. Dude, if we went to full-on taxation, we would get 7 freaking million. What? Yep, yeah, we don't need that. We don't need that just yet. Oh, so now units are transporting themselves with the train across the map. Ooh, that reflects to the fact that we have train stations now, right? I guess so. And they got off of the train where we don't have railways anymore, and they started walking where we don't have railways. That really shows that the paradox is they paid a ton of attention to details with the sprites that they added, right? Give me all your colony. Give me all your colony, Portugal, I want it. In case you didn't know, if you sing that, whilst you sing that, you get an extra 5 PP, just saying. And we are now a Council Republic, everybody. La, 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 la la, la 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 la, la 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 la. So things have changed since I last formed the Soviet Union. Even command economy and everything has changed. So that's good. It's a good thing that I formed the Soviet Union because there's a few things we need to explore then. Technically, because we don't have command economy and we don't have a single party state, we are the Soviet Union, but we're kind of a capitalist Soviet Union, which is really strange, but I guess it makes sense. What the schnapps? Kiev just went up by 600,000 population? When? What the hell is going on here? 8.2 million pops in Kiev alone. Dude, what on earth is this? Well, that means we have enough population to build more stuff in here, so let's get our basic industry going in here, shall we? I guess we can do furniture manufactories as well. Hell yeah, let's get 51 of these bad boys in here, and let's get 51 steel mills too, since I feel like Kiev does have the population to handle both of these and more after. And guess what, boys? We have a ton more rubber plantations we can do now from all the newly colonized areas. So it's barely just 1925, and we already have 142 million loyalists, 1.8 billion GDP. The second after us, the Brits are at 301 million. So the difference is there, and we are at 19.2 standard of living. So we're fourth right now in the world. The freaking Swiss are ahead of us again. Come on, Switzerland, stop it! Stop it right now! But most importantly, we passed most of the best legislation that we needed to pass. Our main issues now are, I think, mostly shortages with silk and a little bit of electricity here and there. Yep, like this one here. So let's see if we can fix that quickly by switching to oil fire plants. Still doesn't look like it. We probably need to build a couple more in here. Obviously, the things have changed when it comes to our shortages. Oil is the #1 shortage compared to before when it was rubber. But we're building everything, not to fear, including textile mills, so we can get all those clothing out there. I do have to say I've learned a lot from this particular run. First off, I need to be a lot more aggressive in the early part of the campaign when it comes to getting puppets all around the world, and I will not lower the autonomy instead of wasting my infamy in doing that. Instead, I can continue to get more puppets and integrate them after, say, 2 decades or so. Otherwise, if you wait for too long, they're going to get very big as consequence. Also, passing legislation earlier is a lot easier in the campaign if we do the switcheroo with the air, which has market liberal. And I should definitely rush more for Africa. I know I said I'm gonna rush for Africa, but I need to rush even more. It's unbelievable how much rubber shortages cucked me in the mid part of the campaign. Well, not mid, but early 1900s, let's say. That's why I had to do all of those sneaky wars in Africa to grab everybody else's colonies, right? Also, one thing I probably will do in the next run when I play as the Soviets or Russians is I'm gonna rush for China earlier as well, because they've grown a lot and they have a lot of really awesome states in here, like the ones I've developed like crazy over here, right? I mean, to put this into perspective, I've got 50 million GDP in South Manchuria, 85 million GDP in Beijing alone. Look at that, 85 million. How many countries have 85 million? That means I got more GDP in Beijing than the entirety of China, Prussia, Spain, Canada have. What the F, man? That is just in one single freaking state. After relentless, continuous conquest, we've got all of South America, most of Africa, Asia, and we've reached insane amounts of economy, with our GDP being 20 times bigger than everybody else's combined. That is just stupid if you ask me, brother, okay? But hey, if you enjoyed this run, you're gonna love my Austria one once we get that like goal, eh? And don't forget to also subscribe. It would really encourage me to make more videos like these in the future. And until the next time, check out this awesome Japan run. And I want to give a massive thank you to all of my patrons, channel members, and Twitch subscribers. I would not be able to do this without all your support.